series, the statistics would kind of lean towards Budapest 5. I mean, if we end up on Nuke, they've got, I think, an 89%, 90% win rate on that map. So I think if you're Budapest, taking the first map or the second map in the series is a really good indicator that things could go your way this time. That's the difference maker. The when they faced a month ago, it was a 2-0 for ILLUMINAR, albeit a close one. But I mean, our partners over at Lootbet seem to be favoring the boys with the experience, the wealth of knowledge, and you can understand the argument as to why. But you win a map to start things off for Budapest, and I think things begin to look up.
Cleve in a great position, but he needs to be able to step up. Bodito in the back lines trying to dissuade them from pushing in, but he will find 1 and 2, and is it 3? No. Riyadz to take him down. Now, with the USP picked up and the smoke about to dissipate, they have gotten full control over this A-bomb site. That's where Fleeve will be trying to come in from the back lines, trying to swing out towards Ivy, take down these players. He thinks there's only one hair, though, and that could be a problem. Coolio is here to give him some support as well. Coolio finds one. Innocent will take away the other, but the bomb's dropped and they know it. Innocent with the P250 is trying to recover, but Coolio finds one in the meanwhile. Innocent left alone, 1v3. He's got the firepower, he's got the gun, but can't he find the kills? He's swinging out, but Torzi's too good, and he will shut it down. Coolio with 2 fantastic USB kills, and Coolio is a man on CT side pistol rounds. This guy goes insane, dude. He has one of the best USPs in tier 2, tier 3 I've seen.
Wow, big claims and a lot of evidence to support it, particularly in that round. Coolio, Bodito, they both get 2 kills, and well, the crucial pistol for Budapest to get the ball rolling on the CT side is 1. And with ILLUMINAR not getting that bomb planted, not getting the most amount of kills either, they're not going to be incentivized to go for the buy. Coolio, he wants to push the boundaries, not just pistols, the SMG as well. He wants to take the fight right to ILLUMINAR, and he's found 3 already. May in fact find himself a 4th on the drive back, and he does. 4 kills for him. The anti-eco works swimmingly for Budapest.
It's not bad. You know, you could say it's respectably. But look at this, Coolio. Comes in, gets aggressive, gets that nice little off angle rather. And then the fadeaway shot with a B250 as well. The question is, are they keeping all the MP9s? They actually are. Wow. I think the MP9's the best gun in the game, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
No, not really. I think this is very, very risky though on the CT side. You could at least get an AWP for Torzi, in my opinion.
Yeah, not upgrading. This is a greedy line of thinking here from Budapest. Still trying to go for the similar play in towards brown holes, but they suffer as a result. These inferior weapons fall short. Mouse and Veggie, they get the kills necessary to crack open this B bomb site, and well, they've even found kills over towards A. So freedom of choice, truthfully. And while Torzi will hope to pick up the slack over towards B, the majority of ILLUMINAR have gone towards the other site.
I think there's an AK there he can pick up, actually. Right behind the pillar. But are they going to let him get it? Have they maybe picked it up for themselves? Torzi's not checking behind the pillar. Okay. Maybe I just remembered correctly, because Veggie did have an AK control, but maybe someone else. Torzi, meanwhile, chasing after, finds that 1 kill. That's actually quite valuable. Puts him on 4,400. So now, even if he dies in the next round, when you add in that loss bonus, you're getting 1,400. 5,800 is more than enough for an off and some utility with Kevlar. So, does go down, but that 1 kill is worth more than you might be thinking of. 4,750 for the op, 650 for the armor. Gives you some space for a little bit of utility as well. And actually, it's Coolio to be the one dropping it over. So, you have a fairly healthy full buy coming out across the board. Fleeve and Corey dry on utility, but not enough where you'd say, hey, these guys should be losing the round because of their state of utility. Fleeve went for head armor.
All right, an interesting choice. Okay, the spam shot there from Torzi does actually land and deal damage to Innocent, so he's brought down to lower HP. Very, very quick progression through Ivy, though, from the Polish side, and they capitalize. Caught out with a nade out, Busito pants down. Fleeve trying to make up for lost ground in towards Ivy, and although he finds the damage, not the frag. A man advantage held by ILLUMINAR as they approach towards the safe site.
Torzy's got a great shot, but Mouse has been given too much. He already found the 1 kill, so advantage maintained for this terrorist side. Innocent has made some noise, and Coolio was diverted towards him. As a result of that, Reyes just gets a free kill, and Torzy left alone in a 1 versus 3. No longer in a position where you can say, hey, you know, at least I got that 1 kill. It doesn't matter at this point, because now fully reset CT economy, $1,900 in their coffers for the loss bonus. If you do not save this up, what's that? 3 rounds in a row? No, 2 rounds. It's a double eco after that. Unless they force buy, in which case it's a triple eco potentially.
Oh. Going with Torzy a little bit. A slow approach above the ladder, and the nade, it will sail past. Torzy is doing a good job of securing himself an exit here. Snacks is on low money as well, so tracking this player down may not be in his best interest, but he's still going to try gander at it. Torzy, he doesn't hear him. The bomb, it masks too much of the noise, and the AWP is lost to the ether. So ILLUMINAR hunt them down successfully, and I think you're saying the money not looking too good for that CT side.
The ether is a Minecraft thing, right?
The nether's a Minecraft thing.
Oh, right. Sorry, my bad.
Shake my head.
I don't know, man. I'm not a Minecraft person.
Yeah.
I do quite enjoy some of the things they come up with, though, like the computer inside a computer, which can run Doom.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Honestly, some people are whiz kids on creating things like that.
It's so cool. It would be pretty cool to see some USP kills too. Fleeve is the one with the deagle. I don't know, man. The problem with the deagle in these rounds is that you have to find at least 2 kills for it to be worth it. You need it to pay off for itself. But right now, it's Horsey to come in. Fleeve does find 1. So, good little start for them. And Mouse being as low as he is means it's possible for there to be another from these USBs. Fleeve puts them in a place where Snacks can be headshot down by the USBs. Mouse is obviously in a place where he can be, I don't know, man. A toddler could come and drool on him and he'd die.
A fate worse than death.
Indeed. I'm glad you don't like babies either.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's not toddler drool at all. That's Corey coming in with a wonder bang.
Right, a Hail Mary that equalizes the affair. The deagle, while not paying off for itself right now, it's certainly a feasible opportunity for Budapest to steal around from underneath ILLUMINAR. You can see they're grouping up. They want to make sure they trade against these pistols if it comes down to it. While they'll dial in these digits, the positions being held by Budapest. Oh, Coolio's got his hands on an AK as well. That was the one that Mal's dropped as a result of that deagle wallbang, but no, he's lost his teammate in Corey. Coolio now isolated duels as they've spread out on the post plant. A great angle being taken up by Reitz, and he'll find the frag in the end. ILLUMINAR, they dodge a bullet there.
They don't dodge that bullet, though. The one from Corey. That's insane.
Is just silly.
Okay, so the deagle pays up for them at the very least. I'm glad that I'm proven wrong over there. Torshi as well. Let's keep in mind, he has this AWP and a grenade because of the kill he was able to get. The grenade might not matter too much, but you never know where it comes into play, especially because it looks like ILLUMINAR is going for a faster paced play early on. Alright. If I'm not wrong, that's a shot towards Ivy, as Badito will find a kill towards Ivy. Slightly better than just a wallbang attempt. Riyadz, in the meanwhile, is taken down. This time not here to cluster round out. And they're probably very happy about that. Fleeve to take away another kill. They've got a lot of aggression out towards Ivy, finding quite a few bits and pieces of information. And tease.
Well, now that ILLUMINAR are 2 men down, that battle towards Ivy not being all too successful, how do they recuperate? Is there a response? A couple players grouped up in towards the brown holes will be at least able to apply a bit of pressure towards B. With a minute left, there's a little space to be had, but they want to go out with this utility. That's the only few nades that they have. And Coolio, I mean, he just says goodbye to Mao's. Innocent, not making much progress out towards this B bomb site. has just kind of left him in the wind. And well, in fact, he doesn't even get anything for his troubles. He sits in the ramp, and Torzi has an easy go of it with the AWP. Snacks creeping out onto the site. He has the bomb, he can get this planted, but a 1 versus 5, this will be a monumental task.
Snacks. Oh, he's caught out. That is unfortunate, because Snacks at that point, sure, bomb plant's nice, but really, Yumi, what everyone's looking for is just, hey, can I just maybe kill 2 of their operas by any chance soon and just make sure they can't save those in the next round? Hell, even if they don't take these AKs forward, that would be nice, but instead, Budapest 5 is left with a perfect buy. Literally the perfect buy on train for the CT side. Triple AK and double op right there. Full utility as well. They're not home safe yet, though, because this is where you'll see ILLUMINAR force buying up, and we know that the double ops are very, very weak against force buys at times. If you're going for a faster-based play, if you're going for a wall of smokes, if you're trying to exploit them in that regard, it's entirely possible for you to forfeit a round. And I'm worried, but this should be the hurdle, which if you get past, that's a couple of rounds in a row, you have a very good time trying to make something happen. Fleeve gets aggressive, but the Molotov will prevent him from getting anything done there. His position is revealed as well once he takes the shot. He's repositioned out. He's getting so hot on his feet. Knows he wants to come through. And the grenade as well. Catching them off beautifully. Smoke to follow through. Coolio is playing them like a fiddle. Molotov perhaps a little bit too early, but regardless, very good start to the round for Budapest 5.
Yeah, confident showing from Fleeve as well. Just the ability to move from angle to angle, take the fight, and just remain composed. You can see it's absolutely brimming from these Budapest players. Now the site hit comes towards this B bomb site. The utility sails out, and these SMGs are trying to get distance, trying to close the gap against the AWP, but Fleeve's found another. Coolio holding so that he doesn't get approached in from those close angles, but I don't really think this is a round that looks too feasible for ILLUMINAR to smoke. Oh, it actually works in their favor. They line up behind the smoke, the 2 SMGs up close and personal. That's where the damage can be dealt, but Petito deals the damage back. He gets the kills necessary, and Fleeve, he does what he does the best. Just sitting back, scoped in with the ult, seals in the round again for Budapest. Another round in which they keep 4+ alive, and that we talk about how the CT side economy can be hard to stabilize in. Well, they've built themselves a bit of a buffer.
And now it's all about making sure that that buffer doesn't get away from them. But we've also got to make sure that we're giving some love to our good old partners at Hellcase, who are the biggest and most known case opening episode with almost 100 cases. Updated case battle, upgraded, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. You won't get bored with Hellcase. Use promo codes to save more and grab what you can. 4-3. Molotovs, grenades, firepower, it's all raining down, and Corey is delivering. 3 kills from him, and they may look like anti-ecos, but they're important. However, Innocent coming back with 2 of his own. Sure, he does go down in the end, but you've got to start asking yourself, he's got 9 HP. Should that really be happening?
Well, that's why the utility exists, right? That's the ultimate poster child for, you don't want to peek him, just nade him out of the server instead, because it seemed like Innocent was preparing himself for a big round, but the nade cuts him short. Some good damage at the very least done when things were looking the most dire for ILLUMINAR in a round like that. And they'll be able to buy back into things. The AKs are out, but they can't afford the AWP for themselves.
They're going for the delayed double wall of smokes? Really? So the delayed double wall of smokes is where you smoke out Sandwich and the right side of E-Box early, but then you go for a very late secondary execute, which is supposed to catch them off guard because it makes them react and push forward towards T-Con, and then you're supposed to be able to catch them. That's kind of the theory behind it. But right now, it doesn't seem to be their MO. Corey is tagged down heavily. Should be falling over here as Mouse takes him down. Fleeve, however, is still good for 1, but they have 3 sets of smoke, so it does look like a delayed B-side take is also in the possibilities. Just a default few smokes thrown early on. And as a result of that, they're able to take down Corey. I actually quite like that shot. I'm sorry, Yumi. I'm going to steal some of your airtime afterwards to talk about it, so you can take over here.
Yeah, a bit of a bait and switch between the two sites. They throw some utility over towards B, but they still set their sights elsewhere. Meanwhile, Budapest have grouped themselves up. They're making that gamble. Should it be a B site play? It's an easy call to save, but they go towards A, and it's all fair game. It's a contestable round. 18 seconds to get themselves some distance onto this bomb site. They really do not have time to be wasting like this, and Torsi finding Veggie is worst case scenario. They lose that initial duel, they don't clear a path, and Torsi is just hitting shot after shot with the AWP. In fact, Believe chimes in as well. Snacks, there's no time, there's no chance. He has to find the kill on Coolio, and he misses the one opportunity he was given. Budapest, narrow victory, but a mismanagement of the time, it seemed, from Illuminar.
Huge mistakes coming out from Illuminar there, and I really liked the strat. They were going for the setup. They were going for, they even call a timeout because I think there were just a lot of internal communications going wrong. What should have happened there was, it's the same concept as the delay double wall smokes. Whenever the CTs have to be confronted by the smokes over in E-Box, over in Sandwich at the same time, they'll always come forward and reinforce Pop Dog, T-Con, or they'll push out Ivy. So you have one player watching for the Ivy push. They're able to find the early pickoff, and then they throw the double nades into Pop Dog because they know that's where the secondary reinforcement could be. Because they already have a player who's keeping an eye out on T-Con, they know that he can't come in aggressively and take over T-Con. That's where the double nades come in, because they've got information that there's got to be someone Pop Dog if he's not pushing in behind from the B site. After that, though, what you expect is a B site hit, because you've got 3 smokes, which are perfectly fine and dandy to be able to take control, but they decide that because they don't have enough flashes, they're not going to go in. Snacks with a great kill with the saved AWP, though, is a nice way to start this round off, and hopefully this time Illuminar can capitalize on their advantages slightly better.
Yeah, Snacks even going one further. He finds a secondary frag as well on a push through Ivy. There's these forward positions being taken by that CT side that have gone punished by that saved AWP. It goes a fair distance to have carried that rifle over, and while Illuminar, once again, they find some early picks, and they will set their sights on towards B. Coolio, timely Molotov, and he sprays them all down. The damage done on Miles as well. Coolio's on for more than just the triple here. He's dropped the bomb and exposed it. Now it has to be reinforcements from Illuminar. Finally, they put an end to Coolio's antics, and they can play a 2 versus 2 after the fact.
Well, the 2v2 is not going to be easy. They are the good old double up retaking procedures, but those procedures aren't always all that great. Smoke keeping Torsi away from Snacks, who's got 2 kills. The entry kills early on, even tags up Fleeve, but can't finish him off. Now he's left alone, he's got to clutch it out. And as difficult as retaking with a double op may be, it's a little bit easier when you've got yourself another AWP to fight with. He peeks out wide, doesn't realize he's already hit 1 shot, is going for more. He realizes where Torsi's coming from, but Torsi barely has the time to go for this defuse, or does he? He doesn't quite have it. Snacks, man, clutches it out right there and then.
Oh my goodness, it is oh so close. Snacks buys so much time dancing up and down the ladder, but these kills from Coolio, so good to give Budapest the chance. He goes down there, the round plays out completely different, but I mean, just the composure there from Snacks. Really, the highlight had to be him just up and down the ladder, keeping both the Budapest 5 players occupied for such a long period of time, both of them the extra seconds needed.
Trying to come in. Torsi is the one who does fall, though. Corey next in line, Veggie to keep going. Reese is countered out, though. Badito and Cleve putting up a nice little shooting gallery.
And well, Snacks will try his darndest to make it a more competitive round, but he falls at the hands of the SMG. A more scrapped together buy from Budapest, but they meet Illuminar head on that A site. And the money is run out for that T side. This is a good accumulator that could be at play for Budapest.
Well,
There's no utility bought through forward. There's upgraded pistols.
PT-50s?
Yeah, this just looks like this is a pop play without the pop.
Hey. Maybe they'll pop some heads. You know, maybe that's what they thought. Maybe it's just miscommunication, Yumi. Have you ever thought about that, Yumi? Why you gonna be... Admittedly, I'm always the one who's pointing out the lack of flashes, but there are no lack of pop heads. Innocent comes in, gets that quick one, but Coolio is showing that he can do it even better. Mouse isn't popping heads, but he's bringing down players nonetheless. There are still 2 players left on the CT side, but the bomb's been planted and damage is being done. Unfortunately, Mouse is left alone in a 1 versus 3. If he can get one more kill, that's still very big. He knows where Fleeve is, but he gets wallbanged straight down. And maybe if they had a flashbang.
Yeah, that's I don't know, disappointing. Especially in late round situations, having a flash when you don't really have a muster together buy can really catch your opponents off guard. They'll know it's a scrap together pistol round from your side, and so the fact that it becomes a sort of underappreciated bit of utility in rounds like that is it's
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Indeed.
Well,
it's also because even early on, Coolio could have been flashed off and not gotten those 2 kills potentially, which is obviously, you know, a big difference maker.
And while the B burst doesn't quite go Illuminar's way, they get the bomb planted. That cash injection helps fund the buy-in from this T side. They get the AWP back up on stacks, and the aggression from Budapest, they're looking to make things a little bit more interesting. Clearing out the brown holes, a lot of presence and noise made that direction, but Illuminar don't have the players in that position to really punish or even reinvestigate that position. See, now they're even rotating players over just to re-clear the brown holes, just to make sure Budapest don't have too much information.
These are really weird positions from Budapest 5, though. You've got 2 players in connector late into the round. Now they're coming out and trying to reinforce Ivy. They have significant info on Ivy. Seems like they know that there's 2 players here. Maybe they're expecting even more, though, and that could be a problem because Reeds takes down 1, and that'll be forcing out rotations. Reeds is still going, but Corey wins that duel. As a result of that, these 3 players, well, maybe they're going to think that that was just 1 player over on Ivy. Veggie might not be expecting that. There is Corey checking for that, and Corey goes down, which means that the delayed hit from Ivy should be drawing over rotation from the CT side. Snacks, however, comes up with a big kill, and now it's all Torzy. He doesn't know where to go because there isn't enough information, and in that dearth of information, he will fall. Fleeve to find 1, but Fleeve is really just going to try and save the op. Where is it? Oh, there's... Okay. Maybe it feels like he can't go for the op.
Yeah, I think it was
in connector.
Yeah, I think it's just outside towards B, and there's Illuminar players that could be angrily hunting, as we see Innocence taking a good position through towards the white holes. Don't know that he was quite within earshot early enough, but it seems like they have an inkling that he is towards the spawn. They've called for reinforcements. There's a couple players heading Fleeve's direction, and they will try and peek as simultaneously as possible. Should disable the ability to save that rifle into the following round. And Illuminar really do pick them apart. And like you said, just it seemed like a bit of indecision from that CT side as to where they expected Illuminar to go. And just losing track of Veggie was a big problem for them. He gets that kill in Ivy, and he's playing Ring Around the Rosie with Fleeve while people are dying on that B bomb site. Fleeve could do nothing but respect that lurking presence.
This force fight, is so suspect. You're putting yourself in a position where an 8-7 should be guaranteed, but I guess maybe they just felt like without the loss bonus, they wouldn't have had a good enough buy in the next round anyway, but I don't know, man. I always prefer a full utility buy than not, so even if you pull out the exact same weaponry just with good utility, I feel like you have a much better chance. But Torzy is a master of the scope weapons. He will not find the kill right now, though, so maybe he's not. Maybe I'm just lying to all of you.
You got more evidence to support your claims than not. Although the scout is certainly unideal, Bedito, he's trying something a little bit ambitious in through the smoke. He thought about going right through it. Torzy showing that prowess with the scout, finds the kill on Snacks to start things off, but they've got so much progress on towards this A bomb site. Veggie's already on the bomb. And it's just about creating that path to allow that plant. So far, ILLUMINAR don't have too many players that they can throw at this, and the man advantage for Budapest cannot be understated, but Mal's equalized.
How does he find that? Mouse does fall afterwards, but Innocent brings it back to a 2v2, which Veggie is happy to add one more to the tally. Or is he peeking around, can't find the headshot, and that'll be his death. 8-6, Budapest 5 should be able to secure themselves, not Budapest 5, rather ILLUMINAR should be able to secure themselves the 7 rounds on the board. Despite a few good kills coming in, honestly, I thought if bo3 just pushed through that smoke, that could have been a very different round. And I know we've got extra and everything, that's why we can say it, but the difference is your willingness to make a play in a round where your team has a bye where you should not be winning. That's what decides to me whether or not this player is ready to take it to the next level, ready to be designated more responsibilities, can do a lot more on the team. But unfortunately, he doesn't do so at that point. Maybe he can make up for it in this round, though.
Yep. An idea of playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And this is a play that could be a winner, but Fleeve gets checked by Veggie. He turns around, he gets 2 entries. It's just what ILLUMINAR were looking for. It's not anything crazy flashy. Oh, the double drop in towards ladder is at least information gained here from ILLUMINAR, but the flank is being flanked out. Innocent will have their number in just a moment, and well, actually Snacks steals his thunder. It's just Corey to try and clutch anything back, and he won't get a considerable distance. 8-7, very much that projected scoreline based on the bias from Budapest. But like you said, they couldn't get their economy in order, and well, ILLUMINAR, they have to be happy about that one.
I have to show some love to Veggie as well. He may be 8-14 right now, but these past few rounds have been huge from him. He hasn't had the best of games. He's absolutely been the worst performer in the early stages of that half, but the past few rounds, he really brought it together for his team. Back when he was over on Ivy, and even right now, just making sure that those deagles can't really come through with any big kills. But we've got ourselves someone coming through with some assistance to our analysis. We've got our good old pals, good old friends, good old partners, LootBet, and no, I don't mean the Wild West partners, and they're saying that ILLUMINAR should be still pretty favored to come out on top of it here.
Well, a very quick introduction by Budapest T side. Innocent 1 kill before that smoke blooms, and Snacks, he's just playing around it, as he does in typical Snacks fashion. ILLUMINAR completely pushed down everybody on the Budapest 5 side. Coolio tried his hand, but that's about it.
Did you see that smoke above him?
I did not.
Is it possible to get a quick replay of those like 3 seconds where he looks up in slow-mo and get that in slow motion? That would be really...
a smoke on the
top
of the red? There was a
smoke on top. No, there was just a smoke on like in the air, on top of some random thing.
Oh, maybe that's why the burst play from Budapest didn't quite go their way. They'd hope.
Maybe I just didn't see it properly, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I zoned that out. I throw so much bad utility myself. I like to ignore those things.
Like it looked like it landed on the wire.
That would certainly be wild. Well, yeah. They tried their best to open up their half with a good old-fashioned howdy, but Budapest instead, the pistol doesn't go their way. ILLUMINAR instead with the buy. All these SMGs can certainly be aggressive. They can also be punished for getting aggressive. Mal's looking for a bit of information in towards the brown holes, gets taken down, and while that SMG is subjected to terrorist hands, the Budapest 5 side haven't made any quick decisions as of yet. No stampede onto the B bomb side after a pick.
Well, they know 2 of their players are low, and with the MP9s and the M4A1s on the other side, sure, they may not have the most damage per bullet, but they're both very hard to pinpoint and take down for different reasons. Coolio does find Snacks, though. That's very big. Riats, at the very least, is good for 1, but Coolio with the M4A1 has saved, and a great angle for it. Might be able to do some more damage here. The MP9 trying to jiggle him out, make him change position and walk into Innocent's hands, and that's exactly what happens. However, they will be found. Riat with the Famas to catch them out. 1 kill, 2 kills, 3 kill for Veggie. Riat is a little bit frustrated about that. He's saying he gave the information. He's saying he knew it well, but Veggie steals all his kills.
It's just being economically efficient. More kill bonus for the SMG. Nothing to be upset about. The only silver lining for a round like that from Budapest is that they make it contestable. I think the one kill that they find on Coolio towards that B bomb site just makes things that much harder for Budapest to pull that back. That could have been a round that gets a little bit more interesting, but Illuminar sweep it under the rug. But now the AKs are out. The Galil on Coolio as well. And while they'll have a narrow firepower advantage, it's all about whether these CT players can get their hands on the AKs. We saw Budapest on their CT side have double ults, 3 AKs. Illuminar are hoping to get similar buys.
Might be a bit ambitious, in all fairness.
Yeah, that's like best case scenario for your CT
Yeah,
side.
that's the ultimate case scenario. Nade flies in. Wow, that does not do much damage at all. I thought it would do at least a little bit more, but that's just grenades for you. 4 players on this A side, and I like that Illuminar is moving forward a little bit more aggressively to make sure that they can contest Pop Dog and Con. Looks like Veggie wants to actually go inside. The flashbang's not good enough, and Reed's can't take down the players in Ivy. Damage may be nice, but it's not good enough. They need to find the kills. Snacks repositioning onto back 6. Can he take them down? The flashbang doesn't catch him off. He's still on top of his train. They know where he is, though, and Badito immediately free-fires him. Veggie's positioning is great, even if his spray wasn't. He is able to find one quickly, and Innocent again with a slightly weak spray will finish Torzi's life out and out. At least Badito in a 1 versus 3. He will plant the bomb, at least guarantees him some solace of economy, but solace is then swiftly taken away. And you've got yourself the 10th round on Illuminar.
Yeah, that 3-0 start after winning the pistol round goes a long way for Illuminar. They get to double digits first. And, well, that cash injection will certainly be a welcome sign for Budapest. It's still not enough to muster together a conceivable buy. Getting their hands on the AWP as well will be a emphasis point for them. You can see Torzi saving a bit more money than the rest. And a lot of utility brought forward in a pistol buy. Happy noises. Okay, I don't know what that was.
Happy dolphin noises.
That's made me uncomfortable.
Maybe like a happy otter. I don't know. That's the first thing I could think of when happy noises. Okay.
I don't know enough about animals to argue for or against you here, but either way, good to see that the utilities go forward, but they go without deploying too much of it. The flashes do nothing to get some distance on this B-bomb site. The bomb was dropped towards the lane, so Veggie has sightlines over it. They cannot recover it without passing by him.
Unfortunately, this will lead to a death for Torzi as he picks up the M4A1 at the wrong time. Cleave next to fall. 3 players kept alive, but honestly, the second I saw Snatch being caught out, not being able to pull out his gun in time, I thought this round was gone. But Illuminar, they're able to take advantage of Budapest's positioning. And you're right, it's kind of surprising to see the lack of deployment of the utility, even if it has been bought. But maybe they were just hoping to keep it for a post-plant. They will have a full buy regardless. They will have an AWP out from Torzi. So, you know, at the very least, there is that. But slightly strange round coming out from Budapest 5.
No, AWP on Torzi. He goes for the initial peek, and while it won't be all too successful, there's the indicator for Illuminar that rifle has been purchased up. Now it's just about playing the round out a little bit slower. As this was a pick to start things off, they may have picked themselves up a little bit better for an execute. They still need to investigate and find out what Illuminar are up to. Veggie aggressive in towards ladder once again, and they're slowly making their way over towards the brown holes, but Snacks and Innocent, they both find kills. That's the bomb spotted out in the brown holes as well. That puts a huge level of pressure on Budapest to make a move quickly.
Especially when the Illuminar is rotating over towards the correct bomb site. It's a great read, but they can't find the kill. It's Badito to swing out and take down Innocent. Snacks is feeling the pressure, but he's also feeling the flames right underneath him. The problem is, though, he's got to start darting around, playing this side perfectly, and he does so nicely. Badito, the ball, and next should have been Coolio, but a whiffed spray from Reitz will come back to bite them. Mouse now has to make up for that, as Snacks is considering going for the peak, the close range duel, and off the off. It's not going to work out for either of them. Meanwhile, Mouse decides he doesn't want anything to do with Torzi, and he just takes down Coolio instead. Unfortunately, though, Torzi is now deciding, well, you don't want anything to do with me? Huh, I don't want anything to do with you instead. It's a good old, I'm not breaking up with you, you're breaking up with me. And yes, I do mean that to be scuffed on purpose.
You can't fire me. I quit. Illuminar, can they get Mouse in the right position? He's seems to have blindsided Torzi, and yeah, he's so concerned about the quick rotation through the connector that he doesn't even consider behind. Mouse outmaneuvers him in the 1 versus 1 and a 12th for Illuminar. They've had a clean sheet on the CT side thus far.
Well, I have to say Budapest 5 do always look a little bit concerning with their T signs. Right now is more than ever, though. Like, T side of train for Budapest 5, for me personally, it's not one of their better sides. I think they're heavily relying on getting 10 rounds on CT in most games that I've seen them win. But they're generally able to squeak out a few, man. Like, 10 rounds on CT still means you've got to get 6 on T.
Yeah, this is the second time that Budapest are playing train today as well.
Yes.
So I often like to think that you iron out those creases, you do a little bit better job second time round, but thus far Illuminar are proving to be a much stronger opponent, less close rounds, and the nade is well timed, well received by Fleeve. They won't be too happy that he's been on that receiving end.
Indeed. Mouse looking to intercept any sort of B-side aggression. Snacks is actually here to give him backup, which is very surprising to me. We're seeing a lot of times where Snacks is already on the B-bomb side. It's a slightly unorthodox play of playing this side out, where Snacks is not playing from Z connector, ready to rotate away back to A. You almost never see 2 players early on B, but Illuminar have been running it to some success, actually. And they've also not even been getting too aggressive on the A side, where you can say, oh, hey, we've got T-con control, we've got pop-out control. It's okay. You can go to B. It's just very interesting way of playing. And so far, Budapest 5 have just been walking into their hands again and again.
Nope, 30 seconds left to get an execute underway, and they are grouped up outside of B. Of course, that secondary player for Illuminar is there in Snacks. The AWP, the long sight lines that he can hold could be crucial, but pulling out utility when the time is so low, Snacks almost gets them to line up as they emerge from the heavens. Or is it trying his best to answer back, but Snacks hits shot after shot. Miles as well combines. It's just a clean sheet for both of them. The fact that they get 3 and 2 kills respectively, they don't need the rotations.
13-8. We're going to see the replay from Snacks. I mean, look at this. The second kill is so incredibly nice as well, because Darcy plays that perfectly. He goes for the good old crouch and get up, but Snacks is expecting that. So you can see some of that experience which you were highlighting coming into play for him especially, and he's got a lot of it. So Budapest 5, this timeout is needed, but I don't really know what the adjustment call is. I mean, do you have any idea what they need to change? Because so far, for me, they've been getting picked off a little bit too much early.
Yeah, it does stem from just losing that man advantage so early on into these rounds and not being able to use the typical numbers advantage that you have moving into these sites all too effectively. Even in a round like that, they grind so much time off the clock and get very little information as a result of it. So I would personally like to see maybe a bit more of a fast play. It's always a bit difficult to make calls like that when every mistake, especially now where Illuminar are getting closer and closer, just comes in.
Interesting.
Makes things far more difficult. But that smoke from Benito, that's next level. That's he's thinking 2 moves ahead.
Yeah, that reminds me of the good old Fnatic on Old Inferno, where they used to use the Molotovs to stop bottom of banana from being smoked off. That's cool. It's the opposite of that, but it's cool. Also cool is Corey and Coolio. Coolio's name literally has cool in it, so you know he is. Quick deagle shots coming in. Illuminar is fighting back to the best of their abilities, and they might still be able to run away with this, but there's a huge order to fulfill. Innocent finds 2, though, and that immediately brings things back in their favor. Despite getting the advantage, they're a bit overzealous to get onto the sites, and as a result of that, they are punished. They can't quite take away Innocent's life.
Yeah, small silver lining is that they've rotated more towards that B-bomb site, but now Snacks, he picks up the slack. Benito gone, Torzi left to try and make this a little bit more feasible. But Snacks, he does it all. Switches out to the rifle, gets the kill as well, and well, he recovers the AWP after the fact. ILLUMINAR now within touching distance, 14-8. So far, yet to concede a round on the CT side. Budapest, what is the change here? How do they bring themselves back into this game?
Honestly, I don't know about that, but I do know that Torzi has the coolest knife I've ever seen. Observer, can we check out Torzi very quickly?
No.
Torzi. Torzi? Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. Stop. Swiping. Okay. Yep. There you go.
It is pretty.
Snacks, however, has also been pretty in the past few rounds, but his death is a little bit less so. Mouse looking to transition through with another few kills, but Bandito's too quick for him, and he is able to bring him down. ILLUMINAR say, you know what? Let's give them one at least.
Yeah.
And they run away. They don't want to retake.
And the faster play. They ILLUMINAR go for some early information, and they get punished for that exact fact, and they just immediately go off of that pick. Budapest were in a position where they could make that quick call and overwhelm that B bomb site faster than ILLUMINAR could rotate. So a round that works in their favor. Whether or not it's replicatable to allow the comeback here from Budapest still remains to be seen, because you imagine it just getting that initial entry isn't going to be the most consistent of facets for a T side to operate off of. But at least a timeline in which Budapest could potentially bring the game closer.
Oh, pauses galore.
Yeah.
Always good to see. I kind of want to see them getting aggressive into A side, to be honest, from ILLUMINAR. Because that's not been something they've been doing at all. And this is where I'm not sure if this is Snacks' influence or not, but ILLUMINAR plays a very old school style of train. This is not the new meta train where the second you have any information coming on the B side, you say, okay, we're taking control of T-Con. We're taking control of Pub Dog. We're pushing out Ivy. This is the good old-fashioned, hey, chill out on your side, sit back, lay down if you want to, wait for them to come to you, and hope you don't get flashed off.
Yeah, it's not this sort of push and pull dynamic, right? Where you're giving up map control somewhere, you're taking map control elsewhere. Similar sort of dynamics found on maps like Mirage, and yeah, I'm definitely in agreement of that. I mean, especially when Budapest win a round, and maybe you start to feel that the meter of momentum sort of shifts slightly to your opponent's favor. Going for more aggressive plays can always be a great way to just revert any sort of mistakes that happened before, because Budapest will have an idea of what they want to do, and you just throw a huge spanner in the works. It's always I feel like the biggest indicator of whether a team is proficient on a map or not is just the ability to make adaptive plays like that. Because if you're sort of uncomfortable, or you're not the best on a particular map, you're less likely to take riskier plays, because it shows a lot more when things don't work out, or it hasn't been well rehearsed from a CT side. So never want to fall into the firing line of criticism like that.
Yes. It's also very much a sign of veteranship in the in-game leader too, to be honest, because coming up with adjustments on the fly is not easy. Let's not sugarcoat that. It's very, very difficult. So if you're able to actually, if you're down 0-7, if you're down 0-6, 0-8, and then you're able to make a comeback to a 9-6 or something on those lines, that's huge. There's a reason why people like Alexi B, who are such young in-game leaders, are still so incredibly highly valued. It's because it's such a rare ability. Karakan, Fallen, Pronax, these legendary in-game leaders who are able to make these adjustments, they're the big ones to always keep an eye out for. And that's always the hallmark of a good in-game leader on a lower tier team as well. If you ever want to see what IGL to bring up to a higher tier team, look at the one who can adjust his players properly and find something or the other. You're not going to find anything on this screen, though, because that screen's empty now, which is why we come back to Snacks, who is also a player who, you could say, hey, maybe he should make some majors. Maybe he should win some majors,
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Been having a good performance in the server as well. 24 kills to his name. And showing a lot of pressure over towards the B bomb site are Budapest. Shots fired, some utility exchanged between T and CT side, and they want to go for a fast execute on towards the site. Snacks smoked off, Mouse left all alone. The Molotovs are buying him a little bit more room to work with, but Bandito, he's on the heels. He's trying to wrap around, making it more difficult for Mouse, and they isolate him. They find the kill necessary. Snacks unable to trade.
Corey, he is going to be brought down. Snacks' positioning is fantastic. He's been on point on this B side consistently, but now this has to be them pushing for map point. Bandito's caught out. He looked the wrong way, and as a result of that, it's just his death. Snacks coming in with yet another kill. They don't have any Molotovs over here to flush things out, and with the smoke being popped down, this will be very difficult for them to prevent it. Flashbang goes out. Snacks gets one. Snacks is sweeping out from Fleeve, and Fleeve will fall. The reads. At the end of the day, the defuse comes through, and Illuminar is up on 15 rounds. Budapest 5, awkward position.
Yeah, far too many players to deal with on the retake there. Just being able to hold on to that site for Budapest, they had nowhere to go. So much utility still available because there was no pressure elsewhere on the map. So no real reason for Illuminar to have thrown that out. And well, if you don't use it at the early stages, you can use it to seal in the round instead. One more, and the map is Illuminar's. Budapest will try their darndest to make that at the very least, a delayed reality. And whether or not they can fight back to force an overtime, that still remains to be seen. Spread out this time around, not going for an early execute, going back to the style of play that we're getting used to seeing on their T side. Torzy, ooh, he's scoped in on the angle, waiting for the smoke to fade. Thought maybe he might fancy a spam or two reposition, but while he's even considering any of that, Fleeve has fallen towards T main.
Very difficult set of affairs for Budapest 5 with the positioning of the CTs, but the one thing they have going for them is how much utility they have. So maybe they can get a good wall of smokes going, maybe they can isolate out these players in Speedway. That's what they are going to be looking to do. Torzy pushing out, but he'll have to clear all these angles in Ivy, and that'll give them a lot of time to work with on the CT side. This could be tricky. Veggie finds one. It's Corey to fall. Innocent's missing shots all over the place, though, and Torzy can live because of that. Veggie next to go down. Bandito, however, is still alive and kicking as trades came through all across the board to turn it into a 1v3. Bandito trying his damnedest to bring something together. The clock is ticking. There's 18 seconds. The smoke goes down. Bomb has to follow up. Are they going to be spraying through? Mouse is walking in. He finds the back of the head. And with that, Bandito will go down. Illuminar winning out the first map. That is their map pick. So, you know, you understand it. You expect it. But very domineering fashion once they get over towards that CT side. And even T side wasn't too bad for them.
Yeah, and it's one of the worrying things, I think, coming into this series. I kind of looked at the vetoes. I think Budapest need a map win to come away with the series. Obviously, that needs no real illustration, but just taking this first map means that Illuminar now have that much more breathing room. Mirage is a bit of a toss-up between the two teams. If they end up on Nuke, however, I do get worried for the Polish squad. I think there's a feasible chance that the Hungarians fight back. But a much better performance from Illuminar on Train. Some good sort of clutch moments and some good composure from individuals really shining through.
And Snacks looked insane on that B-bomb side with the AWP as well. If I had to give an MVP for the map, it has to be him. And it's not just because of the crazy numbers he had. It's also just because of how incredibly well he was able to play everything out. With that being said, though, we are going to be going to a second map, and that's exactly what we'll be moving towards. So we'll be back in just a bit. Make sure you stay tuned and don't go anywhere. And we're back. This is Malta, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. And that's because it's hosted over in, well, not Malta Vibes, but Gaming Malta is hosted over in Malta. Fantastic place, lovely place. It's also a place where a lot of these players would like to go to. And that's exactly what they're fighting for right now. The winner of this week gets themselves $25,000 as well as a boot camp, a week-long boot camp at that, in a 5-star hotel in Malta. Sounds pretty sweet, doesn't it? Well, Budapest 5 need to be able to fight back in this next map to do that. Yumi here with me. We've been dreaming about Malta for a while, but we're also dreaming about this second map.
Yeah, not quite good enough to compete in a tournament like this myself, and get myself that prize. But I'm excited to see which of these two teams makes it all the way through out of this group, because right now Budapest, it was a rough first map. There was a lot of really good tenured plays from the ILLUMINAR camp, but this is one of the caveats to both teams having similar map pools. It's similar win rates for both teams on that first map. Although ILLUMINAR edged them out on train, Mirage offers a pretty similar story. Maybe there's that chance that because Budapest picked it, they'll have a bit more of a preparation coming into it against ILLUMINAR.
Well, ILLUMINAR done best of win rates on Mirage either as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have to keep that in mind. But they did beat Budapest 5 before, and now you've had a while. I will give a caveat that beating was a overtime loss for Budapest 5. So, either way, you're not expecting it to go anyone's way too easily. And you can take a look at this from the previous map where the top performers from each side are being displayed. And my, oh my, Snacks really earned his spot on the top. 27 kills, 15 deaths. Leo had his moments as well, but they were more so over towards the CT side, actually. Coolio having 14 of his 19 kills on that CT side. So not really the best of performances overall from him, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, he wasn't the only one who was overperforming on the CT side. Fleeve, funnily enough, had 17 kills and only 18 kills moving forward. So you can see what a pummeling it was into the second half from ILLUMINAR. And the one thing I'm worried about is, man, it's not easy to come back after you've had 1 kill and a half or 2 kills and a half and then just start up the next game like, oh, hey, we're fine. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it's difficult to really bounce back when you start off the game pretty well. Like you said, 17 kills on that CT side, only to then flop in the second half. But, well, I mean, we have to kind of wait and see how that all plays out, because I'm personally gunning for the Budapest 5 guys. I think the Hungarian scene has good representation in that regard with them, but it's just so good to see the most experienced player on that ILLUMINAR side being the one that leads the way, right? Quite often it's experience alone, and just having that veteran leadership is kind of enough to bring the team up a level and sort of plug some of the holes and gaps in their knowledge. But he's leading by example, and it's not just we need this veteran player to sort of get our heads level on straight. He's doing the performance for, I imagine, the mentality, but also performing in the server as well.
And that's really big considering how many veteran players do just, dear God, this one knock of hair just keeps falling down. Sorry. But it's also really big when you consider that so many veteran players only bring the veteran seat to the table. And Snacks was always that, why are you bad now? Snacks was basically the guy you looked at with him and Bialy. They're really younger players. They were, 24 years old, 23 years old when Virtus Pro's OG 5-man lineup split apart, and they never performed. So it's good to see Snacks still here, still ready to bust a move out, get some action out onto the map, and good to see him not having run away to Valorant. As nice.
Yeah, it's very easy to go to the other games. Yeah, it's the dark side, unfortunately, for some players, and you would hate to lose such legendary names to other titles, and I'm glad we still get to see that very much emanated in this Polish roster. I have always been a huge fan and an advocate for the tier 1 players to kind of step down every so often should things be going astray, and rebuilding from there. And this ILLUMINAR roster is doing that in spades, and a strong first map means that they still have that chance to even solidify more training opportunities and maybe some time away as well.
The one thing that I am worried about, though, is the fact that you really need Torsi to be coming alive on Mirage if you want to get away with anything whatsoever. He did not have a good first map. 16 and 20, not the best of stats on face value, but when you consider how much of their CT side was spent having a good amount of money and having decent economy, he had 13 kills on CT side, which is obviously pretty good. It's respectable, but even that's not leading the charge when you've got two other players with more kills than you do. And I know it's not all about the kills. I get that. Trust me. I'm a firm subscriber to that. But on Mirage, it sort of is when you're the opera, where you need to be able to step up, where you need to be able to get really, really dynamic and move across the map nicely. And on the T side, especially because Torsi's rifles are not his strongest point. So it could be risky if they're not coming live. If they do, though, then I just think Corey, look, I think Corey is one of the best players there is in all of Tier 2, Tier 3 European Counter-Strike. So I always want him to have a good performance, and that's kind of why over here I'm hoping that Budapest 5 can equalize. Also because I want to see Illuminar and Nuke. I want to see whether they've added that extra depth and whether or not they can compete over there. But right now, of course, to get to Nuke, you've got to get past them initially, and it seems like the nice round at the very least is going to go the way of Illuminar. Whether that's indicative of anything to come, I don't really know.
Yeah, I think it's actually Budapest 5 that have the freedom of choice, so it's a small little hug glitch. But yeah, but either way, yeah, the Mirage is still the hurdle to pass, and while you talk about the kills and how it's usually not that important, it's always important as well to contextualize that, because on train, sometimes it did just come down to one or two individuals on Illuminar pulling up a multi-kill where a trade could easily have occurred for the other side. So frags are important in that sense, just being able to secure some space and make things easier on yourself in the later stages, because if you allow the players to run off, then things can always get a bit dicey.
I always like format warriors. Mouse just hit that sickest one tap, and I just think, all right, Mouse, let's go. I always wish it translates through.
Yeah, if they're anything like me, exactly, it doesn't translate through to real gameplay. It's like I'm having a field day, and they can't even touch me, and then when I'm actually in the game, they violate every principle.
I'm glad you said principle, but Budapest will have the loop bet odds not really favoring them. Again, our good old pals, buddies, friends, partners. I can't think of any other words for them, but they deserve a few more. They're saying that it's a 155 to 235 in favor of Illuminar. I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest. I think it's actually quite even in this, unless they're factoring in the poor performance towards the latter half from Budapest 5 in the previous game.
We'll see if there's been a reinvigoration or Budapest as the approach towards B begins for Illuminar. Badito in with the first. There's 3 players here on this B bomb site to deal with this push, and Badito is still alive and kicking 3 kills thus far for him, and he's creating a lot more space and a lot of time for the Budapest 5 lineup to rotate into the site. There's only Innocent left in the apartments now. They've tracked down Snacks, who made his way out in towards that van position, and a 1 versus 4 for Innocent. This is going to be a tall order.
This is called a good old rush B strategy, and unfortunately doesn't always work out. Budapest 5 is very happy with the call, however, and Innocent, well, he's got a P250 at the very least with Kevlar, but with 33 HP, Kevlar is really not going to be giving you much. No bomb either, and Torzi, well, he's just taking down Innocent. Again, rushing B, not the smartest of ideas in today's day and age. You know, that nade flies through, does alright damage, and then Badito's not being checked at all. He's able to get 3 kills on that side, so, you know, just slightly sloppy around. But I have to give massive props to Budapest 5 for predicting it and having 3 players on the side early on.
Yeah, playing definitely more in favor of a retake A situation as opposed to conceding that B bomb site, which is a good indicator that they are not quite out of this yet. A strong round to start things off. And while Illuminar will scramble to try and get something going in a round like this with the Eagles in hand, they will be met by SMGs on the other side. Corey, Fleeve, they both get kills respectively. And Illuminar with the remaining pressure in towards middle. Well, they don't have the bomb. They're just trying to keep Budapest at bay.
It's all about the money. It's all about keeping it in your wallet and making sure it doesn't slip out and fall over. But Innocent had a chance to take away that life, unfortunately does not capitalize. So with that, and Snacks not going for the jump, Leave at the very least should be very safe. Innocent, however, coming in from the back lines, and Snacks landing the jump makes it so that, alright, at least you find one kill. I don't know if they can get more though. Forrest is happy to take these duels early on. Then he backs off and says, SMGs, it's your time to shine. Get yourself some money. Treat yourself to something nice. Don't spend it all in one place.
Well, they had to separate to go and recover that bomb. Snacks to pick that one up, so he left Reek down in the dust, and well, he will meet him in the exact same place. Another kill for Budapest, and well, keeping 4 up in the anti-eco is always a welcome sign. This is where it's a possibility we just get a rush play in. Not going to be too much bought through by Illuminar. And while it didn't work in the pistol, yeah, we do hope that a singular bit of utility gets bought up by Illuminar that could help close that gap.
Well, unfortunately, it is not the case. But hey, Tawzy, early spray down on the Innocent, Veggie, Snacks. Good amount of money actually put up onto him. $900 goes a long way when you're an OPA. So you should be able to buy up an AWP in the next round, drop the M4 over to Fleeve, to Coolio, and then you've got yourself a very solid buy.
Okay. If that decision actually ends up being
Fleeve just bought an M4.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to upgrade anymore. He wants to keep the economy high on the CT side. I mean, he had a nice little spray down there against the anti-eco, so maybe he's feeling a little bit more confident on that rifle. He heard you talking about him not being that stronger rifler. He wants to prove you wrong.
No, I said his strongest point isn't his rifle. I don't say he's not that strong. I'm very careful with my words so I don't get flamed by fans.
Oh, while I put words in your mouth, they're putting bullets in the mouths of the Budapest 5 lineup. Back and forth the kills will go, and Innocent finds and deals with the initial push in towards top middle. So, a bit of a change of pace here from that CT side that, although it doesn't work out in their favor, there's at least significant damage done towards Innocent. So, a man advantage held by the T side. It's about whether they set their sights on the right of these 2 bomb sites. For now, everything is spread out from the CTs. 1-to-1 to each A and B, and look at the aggression from Badito. He's in towards Palace, just getting some information.
It's also really strange play when you consider Fleeve got the M4 that you're pushing that far forward, but Corey, he's managed to find Snacks, takes him down. Coolio's being mollied up, and he will fall. 3 versus 2. But both the CT players are incredibly far away. The one good thing for them, at the very least, is that the Molotov will not matter when they're this far away. But there is still smoke for post-plant utility, should they wish to use it over towards short. Wouldn't mind seeing that, or even an apartment smoke. But the wide swing from Corey is ambitious, to say the least. Badito, at this point, would not mind him saving the AK to be able to drop it over to Fleeve, who did, of course, buy in this round. But next round is where they do have the op coming out, I expect. They do have pretty much everything, but yeah, but I don't know, man. That's just a really strange decision to buy the M4 if you know that the call is that you're pushing 2 players over towards the top of mid early on.
Yeah, potentially a miscommunication as well, right? Just these small optimizations that can be made, especially when the CT side economy is hard to get a handle on. Potential overinvestment, but yeah, we get to see that AWP into Forzy's hands. In fact, the secondary on Corey as well for Budapest. So already investing into that double up very early on does strain the coffers slightly. And so whether Illuminar win this round, it will mean that Budapest are stuck onto an eco round or a half buy. Well, Corey, pushing through the window. He misses the jump. In fact, both the Operas going for similar plays, but Corey looking to linger in this position, see if he can find a kill top middle.
Smoke is giving him a little bit of leeway, and that leeway leads to Innocent being sent away. Smoke comes out on the top of connector to make sure Snacks cannot make something happen, but you know Snacks wants to push through that, dart around, make some plays. It's Snacks, for God's sake. Unfortunately, that smoke, I think, goes a little bit awry. So there is a small gap on the right side in the jungle smoke. Badito, however, to find Snax' head, is going to be leaving quite a bit of a gap there. Corey, next shot in goes to Veggie. It is just a straightforward state of affairs for these players, as they are just fully exploiting the side of ILLUMINAR. Nothing really that can come through from the T side. Mouse is in a 1v5. No real chances.
He at least gets his hands on the bomb, so his options certainly open up. He can attempt to reposition, attempt to fall back. The problem being that one of his pathways has been blocked. Fleeve trying to contain him into the apartments as best as he can. And they'll even push off the back of it. Corey holding, allowing his teammate to push further and further forward. And while Budapest, they keep everybody alive in that round. A clean gun round that, well, I mean, talked about the strain on the economy that the two AWPs offer. That at least gives them a few more rounds to operate with those rifles in hand.
Really good start for a lot of the Budapest 5 players. So you can see Corey 7-1, Badito 7-0. And of course, you're expecting that when you're up 4-1, but maybe not to the same extent as far as the deaths go. And eventually that will start to reflect more clearly on the CT side economy as well. So you've got to be careful. You can't really consider yourself too fortunate. Very interesting that Corey just threw a flashbang out from middle, actually, for them to re-peek out from the B apartments, which is always cool to see. Flash is going over. They've got to make a play. Corey with the AWP wants to move across the smoke, but it's Fleeve to come in. 2 early kills before Veggie finally takes him down. Those smokes will be finishing off soon, so unless they want to freshen them out, the full flash onto Veggie and company, he will end up falling. Snax, though, 2 kills down in mid. Weren't quite expecting that. And he could maybe try and work off of those. Smoke comes in to give him a little bit more room to play with. The bomb can be retrieved. He's playing in a great angle. Corey is caught out. He uses it as a one-way. Corey does bring it back, but Innocent to seal it away. And Snax with 3 fantastic kills to give them a chance to bring it back to 2. I will say, though, that was a unfortunate situation for Snax to even have to get 3 kills out, because Innocent ended up flashing his own teammate accidentally when he was pushing through the smoke. Otherwise, that could have just been 2 kills for the Tech-9. It's a very close range angle. It's where the Tech-9 flourishes.
Yeah, what a round recovery, though, from Snax. A small mistiming and maybe miscommunication on where that flash would pop, putting him in that situation, but he flourishes in that opportunity. The only 3 kills that he's had so far on this T side, and none bigger than that. Budapest, they reinvest into it. The AWP on Torsey, although he'll miss the first opportunity. ILLUMINAR are probing towards this B bomb site. The smokes will sail over. They deep execute that they've thrown from far within the apartments, and they're looking to close the gap quickly. Torsey, first kill in with the AWP.
Coolio trying to play on these smokes, but it's Badito and Torsey to be doing all the damage, but Torsey has now been acquainted with damage. Coolio needs to step up now that his teammates have gone down. They're not expecting his position, and Coolio will be able to find one. Is he good for more, though? The spray coming in from Innocent misses as he doesn't know where to aim. Snax is left in the 1v3. He's got to get a 3K this round as well, but it's a little bit different. Starts off nicely, re-peeks in, but can't get the no-scope. Cleave. The shot Snax down. 5th round for Budapest 5 on the board.
A bit too tall in order to ask for back-to-back 3Ks, huh, from Snax. A much tougher position to be in. He doesn't have a teammate that can help alleviate some of that pressure as soon as they know where he is. It's about taking those fights appropriately. And, well, you fire off the shot, you fire off the no-scope. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. And this time it's a Budapest round to work off of. ILLUMINAR now on to a save as the Budapest 5 lineup have broken their bank. And Torsey looks for an opening opportunity for the CTs. ILLUMINAR, I thought they were going to go for the run boost. Torsey might get caught off by timings here because they overwhelm him through middle. He goes for a greedy pick down towards the underpass, and that subjects an AWP to the T side.
Well, Veggie could look to turn around with that, but Badito and Coolio have already taken it out of his hands, and it goes straight into those of Reitz. Reitz. No bomb.
Yeah, it's dropped into the apartments.
Yes. It's, I think it was dropped by the... Who dropped that? Oh, there is a player who died there. Never mind. For a second, I thought that's not the case. Oh, well. That's a shame. Unreasonable. Riyad's just upshots that one far away. Oh no, Riyad's is not having a great time. I think that one's just... Oh, he can spray it down. Is this gonna... Oh, that would have been very next level. That would have been very next level, but yeah.
Reese just couldn't get a handle on these guns. He tried to shoot a deagle over to his teammates. It goes a little bit too far. He tries to throw the AWP over. It goes a little bit underthrown this time.
It's all about the middle ground, Reese. It's all about Zen. It's all about getting to that state of nirvana, yin and yang, all that really interesting stuff that people talk about that I don't understand. Torsi, however, I understand this. This is a touchdown mid. He's gone forward and he's brought down Snacks.
Yeah, Budapest channeling the right mantra in this particular round. Double push up through top middle. There's nobody there from ILLUMINAR to really contest and help out Snacks. So an early advantage that they can work off of, and while they probe these bomb sites, damage done onto Mal, but he still comes out ahead in the duel, and a whiff spray by Corey. He seemed on top of that duel, but Veggie gets away with a sliver of HP as well.
Oh dear, Cleve. He's just taking down Reeds through the smoke. That's huge. These players are so low, and Cleve, well, he's been blocked out with the Molotov. He even uses his smoke where perhaps it wasn't needed. He was expecting it to maybe spread towards the very end. Torsi comes in with the flank under the only healthy player there was. So now it really is the impossible situation for Veggie. Torsi brings him down 7-2. ILLUMINAR, despite having a few rounds where they're saved in a bad situation by Snacks, it looked like Budapest 5 is well en route to a second map victory.
Yeah, they've laid the groundwork. ILLUMINAR are finding these rounds sparsely. Unless we remember that one of them came down to a pretty crucial set of kills by Snacks in the late round to even get ILLUMINAR one more of these on the board. Well, Budapest 5 are just having their way with middle in general. ILLUMINAR losing in another player to the AWP. They'll try the run boost, see if they can catch him off guard, but Torsi's repositioning, picking up the slack, however, and well, given that it's just the Deagles, again, it's about dealing as much damage as possible, but Reeds has found himself into a position where he can grab that AK, maybe do a bit more damage.
It's not about damage, though. That's the problem. Sure, it's nice to get, always, of course, but rounds are all that matter at this point for ILLUMINAR.
Well, they at least have some information as to one of the players towards the window. Badito made a step. Innocent was within earshot. Could have had a sight line. Well, Reeds is keeping them distracted in towards the connector. There's no real pressure towards that B bomb. I think about that fast flank over from top middle as well. I think Coolio's containing him. Torsi, at the meantime, takes down Veggie. So the bomb isn't all too recoverable. This is a must-win fight for Innocent if they want a chance in the round. But Badito's remaining elusive.
Reeds has gotten a lot of ground, but it's Innocent you've got to be careful about. Innocent gets one, but I don't think there's any possibility of him getting away with that. The second Reeds goes down, it's just all she wrote, unfortunately. Torsi, I talked about how he needed to step up and make sure he doesn't let the previous game affect him. He is not letting that happen whatsoever. 15-4, insane performance from him for now. On the other side, ILLUMINAR, can't say that anyone's really having the same. Sure, Snacks had that 3K, but he's on 4 kills in 10 rounds outside of that 1 3K.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
And after how we had so many timeouts on the first map, you'd expect to have seen one by now by ILLUMINAR, but maybe they don't want to take things slow. Instead, just barrel right into it. Coolio dropped, again, this aggression from Budapest towards the top of middle. This time around, it's a 1-for-0 exchange. No real damage done towards Snacks, but they find Mal's over towards B. There's nobody there to help. No real pressure applied. Although smokes will sail through now from ILLUMINAR with no presence behind it. It's very easy to read into for Budapest. They've even got Fleeve pushing through top middle to flank out A.
Torsi's been very, very impactful so far, but this is the round where he has to continue that moving forward. Corey will provide him a bit of a boost to pair in over onto the site, but the flashbang will force them both back and off. Badito finds one. Fleeve on the back lines is going to stab them, but Torzy even steals his thunder. Veggie coming back with 2 quick kills is nice, but Torzy. Fleeve was getting ready. He was ready. This was going to be his moment to shine. Illuminar is finding nothing though.
Yep.
This is so worrying because even when they're getting themselves in a good position, even when they're getting the early pick off, they don't know what to do with it. They say, okay, you know, we've got an early pick, let's try and work around with it. Let's try and get something on the board. But they just can't get anything. But if you want to get something on the board, if you want to get something real quick, you can go over to Hellcase, which is the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle, upgrader, dozens of giveaways per month, and more. Absolutely unique features. You won't get bored with Hellcase. Use promo codes to save more and grab what you want.
Yep, a smooth segue, but a rough game for Illuminar thus far. There's very few things that are going right, especially into the mid-round. Like you said, even if they're getting that early advantage, hard for them to capitalize off of it because Budapest are kind of operating on that push-pull dynamic that we kind of saw absent on Train. The fact that they're losing control of somewhere on the map, but putting pressure or presence elsewhere as a means of gathering or holding on to some crucial points of the map in response is working wonders for them. It all comes off these initial picks. Reitz, though, takes down Badito around the edge of the smoke. Torzy, although he's in through middle, can find nothing around these smokes.
Torzy flicks over, man. This guy's on fire right now. He's not missing any shots whatsoever. There's just no way of getting past him. He's having a game of his lifetime at this point. And it seems like he's got a lot of lifetimes because he keeps having games like these. Meanwhile, the B-bomb side is impossible to penetrate as well. Mouse is not able to find anything as Coolio shuts him and Reitz down. Coolio is even looking to peek out for a 3rd kill, but instead he just backs off to safety, or at least that's what he thought he was backing off to. Unfortunately, Veggie at least equalizes. Now with the CTs being as split up as they are, both these T-side players are looking to take individual duels wherever they can. Corey's not expecting them to come over towards him, but he barely gets away to safety. These two players dodge each other by a whisper. The problem is, there should be the call that Corey could be pushed into AK. The question is, does Veggie have his gun out? Yes, he does. He reveals his position as well. And he's playing this very, very smart. He's going directly over to Palace. He doesn't want to let Corey have a chance to shut him down. And that means that Torzy, who's coming in from CT potentially, could be shut down. Also, Corey, however, drops the bomb. And if Torzy goes down there, at least the position will be known. But Torzy jiggles it and keeps himself alive. Innocent's looking to re-peek out. Corey's just hidden away. And he will not go down. Corey plays that perfectly. Illuminar, they bring it to a 2v2. They say we've got a chance. They've got some hope. They've got a ray of shining light. But Corey will put his foot down and stamp it out.
Crucial kill by Corey to be able to find on that A-bomb site. So much time pressure applied to Illuminar, but it just seemed like the communications broke down. Innocent cleared out so much of that bomb site, such that there should have been a process of elimination. Ramp was unclear. That's the only place that they hadn't really checked, but still getting caught out by that position by Corey. Illuminar not being the most concise in their approach thus far on this T side, and I mean, you talk about Torzy having a really good game and being on fire. There's multiple players on Budapest that are having similar feelings.
Oh, that's such a dangerous angle as well from Badito. When you back off a little bit, it makes it a lot harder for the player on chair if there is one to kill you. Veggie, meanwhile, caught out. Fleeve takes him down. There's really nothing Illuminar is getting going in their favor at all. Just the scales are not on their side. Oh, okay. Maybe this is going to change, and it doesn't. So, okay, trade.
Well, despite the caught off position that Innocent seemed to be able to get, Mouse, oh, he's hunting. He's right behind this other player, but one player down, the vent not broken. He's trying to get his hands on the AWP for maybe a chance, but he gets caught with his pants down as Corey goes to peek. Yeah, I mean, just firing on all cylinders are Budapest 5, and it's kind of reflected in the score lines. Everybody's kind of hovering into the double digits. Torzy close to 20. The one that's kind of slacked off is Coolio, but he's on that B bomb site. He had a good time himself, and there hasn't been too much pressure applied his way.
I don't know, man. Half five from ILLUMINAR is also not promising.
Yeah, the T side has been underwhelming, to say the least. After some really good individual performances on that first map, expected a bit more.
Especially because it's Mirage, man.
Yeah.
Everyone can have an individual performance in Mirage. Burrito has a very cool flashbang that he's lining up with. I want to see how that goes.
He goes
and Coolio, okay, that's a thing.
3 kills from Coolio from the forward position. Budito, the smoke provides some cover, and he takes the fight right in front of him. Snax has weaseled himself away, but he's going to meet an untimely demise as well. Uncleared angles. That is one of the basics, one of the must-dos if you're going for a B-site play. If you don't have that sight line early enough, they can always get there before you can see them, and Coolio just gets so much done.
It's not even unclear, man. Look at how long Mouse took to turn around.
Yeah.
Like, the first 2 players died, and then Mouse turns around when he's being shot at.
Like they weren't even thinking about it.
Yeah. It really does look like ILLUMINAR is internally broken down, to be honest. Which is the only reason why I'm so worried about any sort of a comeback prospect. You have to win this round. There has to be some sort of morale boost. There has to be something going your way to come out in the second half and say, okay, it's fine. We'll clean it up. But it's so difficult. You've got the triple op set up to deal with. Corey finds one. Torzy gets a second. Mouse can trade away whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, the advantage is heavily in favor of Budapest 5, and that advantage is being elongated, extended, everything. Reitz is left in a 1v4. He can do what he wants to, he can do what he likes, but he can't check a million angles, and that's exactly how many he had to be careful. I counted. 1 million.
Oh, well, I can't do as quick a maths as that. I'll trust you on your numbers. 13-2 is the number that I can confirm, though. That is a very, very one-sided performance. It never seemed like ILLUMINAR had much hope in any of these rounds. One of the rounds still came down to a miracle, or a great performance from Snax, but those 3 kills that he got, or half of his frags and contributions to this T side. It just seemed like they were losing so many gunfights that Budapest could just do whatever they wanted.
You know, you're on a 4-2. You've got a bit of a money advantage as well because of the way the T economy works, and you've just won a round after the CT's won a round after you won a round. So you're probably in a pretty good place, but then you just lose everything. Unfortunately, you could see the degradation of ILLUMINAR coming in, and that is where we need Snax to step up and say, hey, don't worry, guys. I know what to do. I've been in these positions before. I'll step up. But Snax is 6 and 15. 3 of those kills coming in 1 round. 1 other kill actually comes to mind, which had 0 impact whatsoever, which was when he was in a 1v3.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we've got a loot bet for us, and I think that kind of tells the story. The loot bet partner odds for Malta Vibes 115-5. I think that's even generous, to be honest.
I'm surprised you get any money, really.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's always the chance that ILLUMINAR come back to it, however slim the margins, but it's, we haven't had too many shining lights, too many hopes to set our sights on that really even argue that. We'll have to see. Maybe the CT side is where they really, really shine. And well, it's a page out of the ILLUMINAR book. Veggie, okay, he's taking heads as they approach. Corey able to finally trade things out. Reitz remaining elusive. Round the pillar he'll go to prevent him from being taken down. Reitz, though, he gets sandwiched in immediately. Snax trying to make up for lost ground. A couple of missed shots, but eventually he finds it's still a man advantage being held. And now it's just Coolio, but his prospects are short-lived. Another B-site play from the T side and another CT side pistol.
Veggie. Oh, Veggie. Those 2 shots just...
Those were clean.
Very, very, very good-looking shots. But they're what ILLUMINAR needed. Like I said before, they wanted to have a round to swing things around and say, hey, it's okay, at least let's give it a shot. New half, new me. forget about it, treat it like it's 0-0, do to them what they did to you. But it is obviously very difficult. And at the same time, one thing you have to keep in mind, Budapest 5 could get overconfident. They're going for a very standard market window smoke. A minute and 30 on the clock, and Reitz is getting aggressive with the MP9. Should be able to find a couple of kills there, but is flashed up entirely. Coolio takes him down. Veggie is here to defend, though. He's so good on the bomb side, and the pistol round, can he replicate over here? Now he's pulled out that USP. It's a magic gun for him, but it's not going to be enough. Bomb will be planted, goes down. Torzy's re-peeking out into door, knows there's no one there now, but they're both on the side. This is so difficult. Coolio is at least finding one, though. Deagle has been pulled out. Can he take down Innocent? Innocent's position is fantastic. He's playing from inside the window of the apartments. And as he falls and swings out wide, he'll know exactly where Coolio is. 14th round. Not quite there for Budapest 5 as they really, really wanted it to be. But maybe ILLUMINAR can start to bring and string together a comeback.
A close round at that, given the force buy from Budapest. Coolio farmed up, what, 3 kills on an SMG? Yes. He had 1,800 in reserve to finish that round off. So that's always a nice little bonus for him. But a good grip of the situation towards the end there by Innocent. He's been a ray of shining light for ILLUMINAR thus far, leading the charge in terms of frags. But we need to see what Budapest were able to perform on their CT side. A team effort, a combined effort. It seemed like they were firing on all cylinders at one point or another. Need that exact same performance.
Good night comes out. Now, a bit of a rush from Budapest 5, and they're about to find out that rushes don't work that well anymore. Coolio does take one down. Can he find more? Reitz is turning things around with his smoke. He does have a UMP as well to try and dart around with, but that UMP is At the end of the day, Fleeve is left in a 1v2. Sure, he gets a kill on the Snacks, but his position's completely known. This is an incredibly different round to get, as you see right there. Innocent can come through, take things away, picks up the AK as well, and although Reitz takes forward the Galil, he's probably okay with that.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Budapest, maybe avoid the speed bomb side. Veggie is hitting shots when it comes into the initial executes, and it's very difficult for them to crack open that bomb site if Veggie is able to consistently pull up those multi-kills on the approach. But maybe they have a read. Maybe this is all part of the game plan, just consistently apply pressure towards B, because that's where they will go once again. They're saying, you know, eventually, Veggie's going to miss. Eventually he will.
I think they're saying, hey, you know what? We need 3 rounds. Let's save our mental capacity. Let's just rush down B every time, and well, maybe it'll work. Corey takes one down. Veggie, however, he's already set up for a multi-kill. Finds 1, 2, 3 is not there, but Innocent recovers. Recovery, however, is a little bit messy, and he does go down immediately after, and Fleeve takes Snax' life to turn it into a 1v1. Mouse suddenly in an awkward position where he is also going the wrong way, but Mouse hears him. Mouse can even cut him off. He's looking to find him. Molotov will come through. It'll keep Mouse at bay for a while, but Mouse pushes forward and will finish him off. This is why you walk when you're trying to cross back.
Or you just don't miss your utility. The nades for sailing on 30. He's trying to do some quick geometry, some quick trigonometry rather. But it just didn't really work out. I remember the one that used to be the famous buzzword running around, where people just throwing nades on the fly or while moving. And it was a really big deal at one point or another. But now everybody's doing it. Some better than most.
Yeah. I don't know if that's trigonometry, by the way. I really don't think it is.
Yeah.
But then again, I failed calculus in university, so what do I know?
Something about trajectories. That's all I've got.
Physics. Let's call it that. We've also got to call what's going on in this round, though, and that's exactly what we're trying to delay, because ILLUMINAR so far have been winning these by the skin of their teeth, and Budapest 5 now has a full set of guns. Snacks, however, he's got a big old gun in his hand too. Mouse is stepping up, finds 1, looking for 2, will somehow get the multi-kill, which should not have been permitted. And Snacks has a gap in that smoke to work with, tags up Fleeve, his feet are aching, his feet are hurting, and he cannot plant the bomb. Tawzy left in a 1 versus 4 is good for a single kill, but not more. 22 and 10 from 20 and 5 at the end of the first half. ILLUMINAR are up to 7, and you know they're in position for some really good stuff.
5 in a row, and the first time we get to see a effort towards the A bomb site from Budapest 5. It doesn't go the way they hoped. After so many times of hammering that B bomb site, thought maybe those A players would be caught sleeping just ever so slightly. You know, they've seen no action for most of the game outside of the rotations. And now we finally get a pause come through from Budapest, something that I thought should have happened for ILLUMINAR on their T side fairly early on, but after 5 in a row, and knowing that they have such a big lead, just taking that second to breathe.
Well,
I've just been really surprised, and it's a happy surprise to get such a big impact out of Innocent on those rotations. And with Reggie locking things down towards B, primarily finding those multi-kills, it alleviates a lot of pressure. But Budapest, they're making short work over middle. Innocent dodging out most of the damage of the nade, finds himself a kill. bo3, though, with the response.
Oh, alright. Innocent's got a nice little smoke for himself. I was actually just trying to do calculations about when the CT, like how many players do the CT need to keep alive, how many times to have a double buy, because the problem is right now Budapest realistically just needs 1. If they find that 1 round is huge. Speaking of finding 1, Innocent will be able to do just that before he's forced back by the Molotov. Molotov of his own will ensure that no one's pushing out from underpass as well. Meanwhile, this B bomb site is unattended to, and Reitz needs to step up and find the skill. Fleeve has moved fast. He's missing the shots. Reitz will have a chance, but not be able to capitalize. Reitz given a lifeline, but it's a tricky one to capitalize on off the back of that. Innocent so far with 2 kills needs to step up though, because Snack, sure, he's been great with the AWP on this half, but retaking's never easy. Mouse almost had a small little one-way in that smoke, but can't quite find the easy kill.
Well, a 3-on-3, this will be a round out of thin air with Budapest. They invested very little into this, but will they calculate for Innocent on this flank? He's pushing further and further forward. Fleeve caught between 2 angles. The timing could work against him. Moving forward, Innocent has to be the one to start things off. He finds the kill necessary. Torsi taking out, but there's a trade there from Fleeve. Coolio, crucial duel lost, but the time, it's gone. They've wasted too much, allowing for that flank to occur. And although Snacks will try his best with the AWP, he gets nothing for his efforts. Fleeve goes down with the bomb, but it's a Budapest round.
That's so big as well. Snacks, sure, he keeps his up. That's cool. That's nice. That's lovely. But you've been winning 1v1s. You've been winning 2v1s on the CT side. That's one of the reasons why Budapest 5 can feel so comfortable. Hey, whatever, we'll rush B. Who cares? Because they know that at any point you lose a single round, you're not going to have money on the CT side. So now, I would need to see Snacks get super duper aggressive. I need to see Snacks go down mid to find 3 kills and somehow or the other save his team's round, because it is very much on him and Innocent.
Yeah, and because, like you were saying, the money never got stabilized from the CTs, it is certainly not ideal. It's these 2 players with those rifles, the emphasis points put, and, well, that's not what you want to see. Snacks up above the smoke by Torsi. A crucial one for Budapest. They get rid of one of the problem rifles to deal with this in this round, and while there is no fast progression off of it, they'll be happy to capitalize on the space. You can see Innocent trying desperately to hold on to middle.
And Mouse is stepping in to see whether or not he can find that AWP and back off to safety. He does manage to do so. So Innocent has some assistance. Innocent has a little bit of something extra to work around with potentially, but the Molotov will come in. It does not force him back. That could be big because it'll keep them around for a long time. But Innocent is baited into taking the peak. Corey will take him down. So even that small boon that they thought they had ends up working against them. Reese needs to come out big. Finds it first. Doesn't re-peek up for more. Corey almost got it in his jump out. Is tagged up heavily. They've recovered this M4. Corey should fall. It's a 2v4. Things are so difficult. Veggie needs to strike true and strike fast, but he doesn't know what to do and where to go. Miles with the AWP missing shots as well. Veggie trying to find Corey, will shut him down, picks up the secondary op as well, and this will be the save. to come out from the CT side. They're giving themselves a chance to fight for overtime, but that chance is dwindling.
Yeah, what a bitter pill to swallow. The fact that you have to go for this overtime play. 8 in a row is what's on the cards for ILLUMINAR. By saving these 2 AWPs, they need at least that. And after a pretty good recovery to start off the CT side, after going flawless for so long, Budapest don't get too overanxed. They're not too concerned. They know that they have that round buffer to play off of. It takes these small mistakes. I mean, it was that sort of half buy from Budapest that eventually broke the string of rounds on that CT side, and now that they're on these rifles, the economy from the CTs is knocked down a peg. Sure, they saved these 2 AWPs, but there's very little to support those 2 scoped rifles.
Maybe the MP9 can find something.
We're getting,
because you need Veggie to get aggressive at this point.
We're getting overly optimistic over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is the best gun in the game ever created. Maybe.
For the price.
Depends who's... For the price, for sure. But I don't know, man, because Veggie isn't getting aggressive. He's playing a very standard, very defensive style with it. He needs to take them down soon. He's going to go forward. The flashbangs there from Innocent, but Veggie's blinded by it. And as a result of that, Snacks has to be the one to step up. His position is located. He sees another player. Can he flick for it? No, he can't. Misses the shot. Repeats out. Gets one down. Cleve and Corey falls. Snacks is putting up a stand. And this will be the hill he dies on. But not quite yet. Bodito peeks out. 1v2. 2 kills so far. Looking for 4. He sees that Snacks has pulled out the grenade. And Snacks will fall. A 1v1. And Mouse is left to do all the heavy lifting. Bodito knows where he's coming from, and Mouse can't take it away. 4 kills to send them packing. Budapest 5 take the second game in style.
Yeah, what a convincing effort from Budapest 5. The Hungarians answer back in a big way on that secondary map, just firing on all cylinders on that CT side. 13-2 to end that first half. It was going to be a rough road for ILLUMINAR, and although they got off to a good start on their CT side, eventually it just takes that one mistake to really break the camel's back.
It's unfortunate and it's heartbreaking for the side of ILLUMINAR for any fans, but for us, we're happy because we wanted to see 3 maps. We wanted to see New come up. We wanted to see both teams being challenged equally. This should be interesting. Mirage not quite going the way that perhaps some people expected, as it was a dominant performance from Budapest 5, but Nuke is the final one, and we'll be back for that in just a bit, so stay tuned, and we'll be back in soon. We'll be back in soon? We'll be back in a few minutes. Whoopsie. Welcome back to Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. And we are having gaming excellence right here now, indeed. 3 maps, always exciting, even more so when both of them seem to have been a little bit one-sided. Mirage going the way of Budapest 5. It looked like ILLUMINAR had started bringing things back in the first half, but you have to say the same thing about Train as well. Budapest 5 having a good first half, but being absolutely dominated in the second. Yumi, it's Nuke now. I don't know what to think. Why don't you decide for me?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the positives from map 1 to map 2, from Illumina to Budapest, seem to transfer over. It seemed like Illumina were hitting all their shots on Train, and then we move into Mirage. Budapest kind of one-upped them in that regard. I'm also a bit concerned, a bit confused as to which way this one goes. I think the statistics would seem to indicate that Nuke favors Budapest 5. When we looked at the vetoes before, I thought they needed that first map to take the series all the way and maybe even upset Illuminar here, because I think coming into this, everyone sees it as the favorites. We've seen the odds from our partners over at LoopBet again and again, and they seem to lean more towards Illuminar, even when Budapest 5, maybe they have that significant lead. They're still giving a little bit of leeway to that respect to the veteranship on Illuminar, but I have to favor Budapest 5 on Nuke, I think.
Well, I don't know, to be honest, because they haven't played that many times on Nuke with their new lineup. I'm looking at it, they've played twice. Once was in the Hungarian National Esports Championship, which, listen, guys, locally we know Budapest 5 is the best team. There just aren't really any questions about it. But the other one was against Honoris. And Honoris is a team that I think it's a little bit weaker than Illuminar, but they won 16-13.
Yeah.
And that's where I started scratching my head and saying, you know what? I don't know if that's good enough. I really don't know if that's good enough to take down Illuminar. Now, does it mean that they should be favored or shouldn't be favored? No, I think that I would still agree with you. I think I favor Budapest 5, but unlike the previous 2 maps where I thought it was much more clear-cut, it's actually very much of a toss-up. I'd say maybe a 60-40 in favor of Budapest 5 for me.
Yeah, I think that's at least fair. It's that idea of, although the statistics will say one thing, it's about the tier of opposition they're facing, right?
Yes.
In general, the Budapest 5 has had less exposure to the higher level teams, and when they have experienced that, it's been a pretty rough showing. I think months ago when they had played up against Complexity, it was a blowout performance, but as you would kind of expect, Complexity really, really standing out from the pack as of late. And I mean, we'll have to see. Illuminar kind of fell flat on Mirage, a map I thought they would put a bit of a sharper showing into, a bit of a closer map. And although they somewhat recovered, it was by and large too little, too late. But the knife, I think, will help determine the momentum, right? If Illuminar start on that CT side, they can get the ball rolling a little bit more, maybe get the confidence levels up, while Budapest, they'll have to show us what they're made of. And
remember, we also said the same thing about Mirage, where, hey, maybe if they started on the CT side, they could have actually won that. We saw them have a pretty convincing CT side when they were given a few chances at it. But the second their money fell apart because they were down 13-2, they're not going to have a chance. There is no making mistakes at that point. So Illuminar will get to start off on the CT side now. And maybe they can get busy. Maybe they can get something good going for themselves. I'm really curious to see how they play the pistol, to be honest. And looking over towards the odds for LootBet, surprisingly enough, they don't agree with us. Budapest 5 is favored over here. Sorry, Illuminar is favored over here to run away with it, which is interesting. Yeah, our partners have given us a lot of odds over the time. I think I disagree with these. Yeah, probably the closest we've seen the odds throughout the series thus far, right? Just because Nuke is a bit of an oddball into the series, but we'll have to see. Maybe. I mean, we've had our disagreements with our partners before, but it all comes down to the actual results in the server. Illuminar starting on that CT side, but the fast effort from Budapest to get in towards Hell and Reeds, he deals with the initial problem very quickly. Such a nice flick as well with the USB. Always good to see players coming alive like that. Now, they have given away a fair bit of information about their players being inside the lower area. And you've got to be careful that Veggie doesn't die over there on Heaven. He's got the kid, and that's a very difficult position to reach back and grab from. And now that the bomb's being planted, it's very important that they're able to find it. Now, though, Veggie moving out, trying to catch out Coolio, not able to do so. Coolio's position is known, and Veggie feels scared of leaving him alone, but he's got the kid. Come on, Veggie, you've got to move. You've got to make a move, but unfortunately, he isn't going to do so. Bomb's being defused. It's being stuck. Do the players get there in time is the question. Does look like it will be sketchy, but Dito can't get there, and finally, Coolio will clean it up. It came down to the wire. I thought for a second ILLUMINAR would have been able to sneak it away, but unfortunately, Veggie just not being there in time to support them with the kit.
Yeah, and that's the difference maker, right? Because they're sticking that defuse for, I think, 7 seconds before Budapest can really contest it altogether. And if Veggie's in position, if he's the one sticking that defuse, that's the round 1 for ILLUMINAR. It's taken up too much time by Coolio. A crucial fight lost towards the lobby, and it's a round win for Budapest as they pull out from a numbers disadvantage. Oh, no, the nade stack. It does so much. A kill, so much damage on Corey. Follow-up nades being thrown. It's very, very worrying. The SMGs doing what they do to try and alleviate that pressure.
Well, that pressure is not alleviated at all. Fleeve has been kicked in the head, teeth flying out with the deagle, but the bomb should be planted at the very least. Snacks is over here on the bomb site, so maybe he can make me regret me calling something like that early on. He's got the information. He heard the footsteps, so he knows they've come down. The question is, where is the rotation going to come from? Snacks waiting for them to come in towards him. Are they going to check his angle, clear it out properly? Yes, they are. They pincer him in nicely, but Mouse, in the meanwhile, opens up and gets the perfect headshot to the back of the head. He's going to try and stick it as well. They need to start rushing him down. He's peeking out again, but now that they know he's not sticking it, they can calm down a little bit. Unfortunately, at the same time, a smoke comes out. Reeds is trying to fight. The defuse is still there. It shouldn't be allowed as they are spraying in, and finally they get the kill, but what an expensive round for the D side. They're fine with it, of course, but it looked sketchy for a little while.
This kill from Miles that comes in so quickly, if he had the information that we did as well, you could understand a line of reasoning to just stick that defuse because the other Budapest 5 player was nowhere to be seen. It had to just be that ramp pressure that forced him off the bomb, and it wasn't planted for him. But a bit of a lack of information as to where that player was causes a bit of a different line of reasoning, or a different line of thinking in the clutch. And well, though it comes close and it is expensive, it is now just pistols. And there's still SMGs on field for Budapest. They're looking to farm up some additional cash. Coolio's managed his funds rather well. He's having a great little time with so much money in the bank. And his teammates, not so much.
NSA. Well, Fleeve just immediately destroys Reeds. No fancy pistol kills coming in this time, unless it's Mouse or Snacks to have them happen. They do have the upgraded weaponry, but Snacks is already down. Mouse, you had a nice deagle shot before. Maybe you can have another one. Doesn't look like that's the case, though. All 5 players kept alive. Mac-10s might be maintained, might be ditched. They can actually work really nicely on Nuke, especially if you're going for a fast squeaky pop. So let's see whether Budapest 5 do put them to that use or whether they abandon them forever and ever and ever.
Is this the round we get to see Coolio's first death? He has been unkilled, his money is looking good, and coming into the first gun round, the AWP of Snacks is out, the rifles and spades as well for ILLUMINAR. And we'll see how things change up. Do they just go for a standardized play? The SMGs are trying to make short work over towards ramp, but Miles guns them down. 3 kills in rapid succession. One by one, they fall, and Miles is out of there. He's backing himself away to that B site. Corey hot on his heels.
Corey, the nade flies through, doesn't do much damage. Mouse almost walked into that one. Nice little Molotov as well to clear out Shadow. Mouse is peeking out, though, and he's got himself that first. Corey really needed the backup. But Budapest 5 falling apart the second we go into the gun rounds could be a sign of things to come. Now, they do have money to buy in the next one, but Corey, you know, all he wants at this stage is taking away the money of the CT side. Don't let them keep those 4 players alive. Don't let them take that much into the next round. And unfortunately for him, He is not able to prevent that. Even an AK given over to Innocent. So ILLUMINAR enter in with 4 players kept alive. A bit of money saved as well. So even if they lose this one, that should be big. And it's all off the back of Mouse and all off the back of the fact that Budapest 5 is trying to push through smokes willy-nilly.
And that's one of those decisions that maybe doesn't happen if they have all AKs. The fact that they carry those SMGs over, it's a bit of greed. It's treating it as a bonus and hoping to upgrade into those M4s, but it causes a decision that costs them in the round. One that we don't expect to see again, but Snacks, look at the aggression. Missed shot, though, on the AWP. He can't fall back too favorably, so he pushes further forward. I think he spotted out. Sleeve, you might have just caught a glimpse of him, but Reitz, he catches the bomb. Through the smoke, it falls, and that could be a bit of a problem. It does seem like it has been recovered at the very least, but Snacks is rotated in. Corey trying to make up for lost ground, but Snacks now hitting the shots he needs to. Corey, desperate effort. Now the 2 versus 3 for Budapest.
He's picked up the AWP. It might not be the best of weapons in this case. He needs to recover the bomb as well. Coolio, however, has found the wraparound onto Veggie. The 2v2 is very doable, but again, Corey has an op, and if he's coming up, he will be caught out. You can't check this angle with the AWP, and Innocent will catch him off, finds a bomb as well, repositions himself, and Coolio will reveal the fact that he's going down. Innocent will have to play from secret, but he won't have time to stop Coolio from getting into a good position to plant the bomb. Now, Coolio has got that beautiful headshot to help him out, turn it into a 1v1. Innocent now has to contend with the Coolio, who is in a perfect post-plant position as well, no matter where Innocent wants to come from. He will be located, and Coolio takes him down. That's that's actually one of the best 1v1 spots there is in the entirety of the B-bomb site. No matter where you come from, the glass needs to be broken, the double doors needs to be open, the squeaky needs to be squeaked.
Coolio is on fire for the Budapest 5 lineup. 10 kills thus far in 5 rounds, 2 every single round, or at least, I mean, he had 4 in one of them, but, you know, we'll pass by that. He's doing a lot for the team, entering, finding multi-kills, pulling it out in the clutch. Great stuff and great signs for Budapest 5. ILLUMINAR looked like they had what they needed to get another round on the CT side, but it falls slightly short. A great clutch. And while ILLUMINAR can't afford up a buy once again, this time Snacks doesn't have the AWP. Mouse is on the MP9. Budapest just looking for a bit of information where they can find it.
Coolio does get the bomb passed over to him. They're saying, you know what? You're 10-1. You're already killing everyone. Why don't you plant the bomb too while you're at it? Seems like a plan, Yumi. Unfortunately, Snacks has got a plan too. And that plan is to push right through, take them all down, see what he can find, turn that smile into a bit of a frown for the side of Budapest 5. Unfortunately for him, though, he does immediately fall. Fleeve kills his own teammate. I was wondering why they... See, the orange throws me off a little bit. I was like, wait, what? How did he get 2 kills there? But Fleeve does find a way one way or another. Innocent needs to find all of them, though. That simply isn't happening. Mouse with the MP9 comes in, but he's traded away immediately. Reitz is left in a 1 versus 1, and somehow cleans it up. He uses the gap in the smoke on the right side, and there you have it. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I was getting ready to write off ILLUMINAR in the round. Mouse, good effort from the MP9, but Reitz this play around the smoke. They're both low HP, and he capitalizes wonderfully. All that damage that Innocent had accomplished earlier on comes to fruition. A weaker buy, but with more success. This time the 1v1 goes, or the 1vx rather, goes the way of ILLUMINAR. So some good clutch plays coming out from both sides thus far, and the money has run thin for Budapest. Just a couple of rifles brought forward. Benito going without the smoke. Snacks just hitting fish in a barrel as they attempt the cross. And while they will get themselves in towards secret, they are met with a smoke on the other side.
Really good positioning from the CTs in this round as well. I'm not sure whether that smoke from Snacks was intentional, as he does find himself a 3rd kill. For the ace, possibly, but does end up going down, and This is where I will have to point fingers. If they can't recover the AWP, Torzy, honestly, Torzy, the best thing you can do right now is just throw away the op. Unfortunately, he's feeling like he's in too much pressure situation, but that's for good reason. Innocent picks up the AK, picks up the op, and all right, at least they recover it. But very risky repeat from Snacks over there.
Just after he praised the positioning from the CT side as well, of course.
Yes, of course.
Well, it's not without its casualties. They still have an SMG on field. They could have upgraded that to a rifle had that potentially not transpired. But either which way, that is now, what, 3 in a row, I believe? Or if I'm keeping track. No, it's a second in a row. But either way, it's still good for that CT side because now Budapest are on just Glocks. There shouldn't be any ifs or buts in a round like this. There's maybe 1 in 100 instances where it goes askew. And especially with the round that Mouse is taking with the SMG. They're making sure it's decision. Mal gets Stink down. He's going to suffer for getting a bit greedy for the SMG kills, but Innocent and Veggie sweep up all the rest and now just okay, they're actually making this far more expensive than I otherwise would have thought. I mean, 2 deaths to the Glocks, that's certainly not ideal.
This is where you start to question how much more Illuminar needs before I can say they're stable.
Yeah.
Because 4-4, hey, we're coming back. Hey, that's cool. That's awesome. But 3 of your players gone by if you lose this round. So, Illuminar, these next 2 or 3 rounds, every single one of them is crucial. Every single one of them is about saving weapons and saving a lot of them. So, Budapest 5 knows that this is their chance to really take the pressure to the CT side. And even if they lose a few here and there, and that's a spray over to... Actually, I don't know what you guys called that, but we called it New Box for some reason. I do not know why, but we just call it New Box, the place where you boost onto hot from.
I think some have called it Tetris or Jump Up.
Okay.
Certainly makes a lot of sense for why, but... Yeah, so much damage done. Reitz and Bedito will trade things out, so a 1-for-1 outside. And a flash that does a lot of work for both teams. It's a bit of an awkward duel. Both teams slightly flashed up by the duel, but Budapest come out ahead. 1 minute left on the clock as well to make a decision, and with Illuminar being stretched towards both of these sites, this becomes a very enticing prospect to hit towards the lower side of the map. They can't know that.
Well, I'm not sure if that drop from heaven was audible. Don't think it was.
The initiative here by Illuminar. Snacks is peering in with the ult towards lobby. He's trying to cancel out prospects of this A-bomb site.
This could be problematic if they start spraying through the wall. They choose not to. And now it's a 2 versus 2. Snack still aggressive. His position is known. Can they find him though? The bomb is near him. Flashbang. No, actually, smoke that goes out to push him off, and he misses his chance to take down Bedito. As a result of that, Innocent is left on 12 HP, and I would not hate him for saving, because this is where we see the point that I made earlier. Exercise. Unless he wins this, they can't buy, and he will not come out on top. Money is terrible on the CT side, and even so, it's terrible in the worst possible way, where 2 players can actually buy up, and that's so troubling. And you know what? We have Hellcase coming out. They're our partners, they're our friends, they're our pals, they're our buddies, and they are the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle upgrader, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. You won't get bored with Hellcase. Use promo codes to save more and grab what you want and what you can.
Speeding down the track like an F1 car, and well, Budapest will follow with your segue. They'll rush down towards the vents, down towards the B-bomb site. Bedito lurking around it just to make sure that they're not hot on the heels, and well, they've got a lot of ground to play off of. The bomb planted very rapidly into the round. It's all into Illuminar's camp, whether they can retake this. A man down, now 2 as Snacks falls with the ult.
Illuminar will now run away and decide to save, which I quite like. I would have really liked to see them save, man.
Yeah.
I know that they're going to be hunted down, though, which is always good to see from Budapest 5 as well. I think it's fairly straightforward where they're saving, especially now that they've been spotted out. There shouldn't really be a chance of taking these weapons forward. Maybe the op can be saved, actually. There doesn't seem like there's enough time to physically reach it if it stays in the corner at this point. But it's always going to be tricky. He misses his chance to take them down. Smoke goes out. He's caught out, but he gets the shot. Mouse barely saves the day for his team. Takes the op into the next round, so at least they have a chance with any hero plays from Snacks. But I don't know, man. ILLUMINAR is not looking like they're in position to do much over here. What's their loss bonus at? 2,400 now. So even in the next round, they don't have it comfortable, but I may need to get some kills here.
Yeah, and 6 rounds on this T side from Budapest. They are feeling good about themselves. This is a weird half buy. They buy a little bit further down than I otherwise would have liked, and Torzi takes away the AWP very quickly. Reorganize, reposition into the hands of Reitz. He's hoping to have an AWPing performance himself. And while Budapest, in a slow approach towards outside, it's a conceded effort towards the A-bomb site instead. Veggie, oh, he's found 2 kills now with this 5-7, and he's still remaining elusive. They can't track down the trade.
At this point, even getting another kill would give them a chance to have a Hail Mary, but Budapest 5 are not going to let those come through easily, safely at all. Veggie looking to maybe come in with a bit of a flank. At this point, Reitz is the one who has to find the first kill. Bomb is being planted. Reitz will not check this out yet. He's still waiting for his team. He's fine with letting it go down. Veggie is taking a very long time inside the vents, so he's waiting for his deagle to come in on his sideline so Mouse can make a move as well. If Mouse peeks out first, maybe Veggie's able to find some sort of safe passage, but Torzi gets the first shot. He sees Veggie's gun, but he can't take him down. He's missing all his shots, and Badito, he's not in a great position. Reitz will take him away, and ILLUMINAR somehow win a round that really didn't look like it should have gone their way, and that's exactly what they needed. Veggie with a huge performance.
Yeah, that's a lifeline round. The 2 kills with the 5-7, just getting his hands on that AK and repositioning. Thought it was going to get a little dicey, especially with his gun kind of peering through the vents. Thought that could have been the nail in the coffin for Budapest, but some missed shots and a great retake from ILLUMINAR. The timeout call.
I thought they fixed that.
I think they have in most spots. I mean, I think the biggest one before was the door on Cash. I think that was one of the one of the most troublesome ones. And I think on Mirage under balcony, if you're sort of on the bricks, your head kind of peered through. But yeah, it seems it's not as fixed as we'd like.
That's really odd, because I remember the fix coming through quite a long time ago. It was also a nuke as well, to be honest. Like, if I remember correctly, like you could see a gun poking up from Mini, which was obviously not great.
Yeah. Those small tells, that bits of information that you can get. These guys have eyes like hawks, so they see a texture that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's also a gun poking out from a wall. So you know, I feel like that's one of those things which, you know, you don't need a Hawkeyes to see, but it helps.
Well, sometimes you don't even need to see them. Some good spam damage done to start off the round by Badito. And well, ILLUMINAR, they get that lifeline round. It's all about chaining that into a successful CT side. 9, the best case scenario, certainly what they are aiming for, because Budapest will be pretty happy with the 6 they've found thus far on the T side. They're fully expecting ILLUMINAR to change things up here. They're expecting a push of some kind, and it's just not coming through.
ILLUMINAR has just decided, hey, we actually have guns this time. Let's just sit down, have a cup of tea, maybe a biscuit or two while we wait for them to make a move. And Mouse is about to experience that move firsthand. He does have a Molotov in his hand, chucks it out. Perfect timing as well. When there's just 40 seconds left on the clock, he can reposition. And by the time that Molotov clears, it's going to be about that 30-second mark when they can actually push through. Mouse is just holding it off, and it's really nicely done as well. It gets one. The second spray isn't quite there, but even a 1-for-1 trade with all the information he's getting is very important. Veggie's got another good off angle where he'll find one and maybe even more. Repeaks out, but bo3 to take him down. Now, the bomb will be planted. They can't prevent that, and the op on the retake will be a question mark, but can it be an answer as well? Because Innocent's gone down, and now Snacks has to get something working. Finally takes down bo3, but the trades are consistently there on the T side. Reeds, in the impossible crossfire, will fall to Torzi, and Budapest 5 immediately punch back, and they take another. And the worst possible thing is, you're on a 1400 bonus now.
Yeah.
Well, now you're 1900. But the point is, Budapest 5 is still in a really good place to go to a 9-6, 10-5, honestly. Oh, they're force buying. Wow. That's brave.
Yeah, it's a really, really tough position to be in because, like you said, they don't have the loss bonus to sit back on. They've come so close in so many of these rounds. It comes down to the wire in quite a few, and that hurts the economy even further. Even if you're winning a round by the skin of your teeth, that doesn't quite cut it on that CT side. And yeah, forcing into it is certainly not ideal. I don't think the Nova is really my gun of choice either. Gun of choice, though, by Reetz, the Deagle, of course. He gets a nice opening kill for the Illuminar side. A little bit of room to breathe, some space outside. Veggie will try to replicate his performance on the 5-7 towards inner. Budapest are still prepared for some sort of a lobby attack from Illuminar. We haven't seen it from that CT side as of yet, outside of sort of anti-eco rounds.
Coolio's positioning is really interesting. He's just watching for the feet to pop out from the squeaky lobby, but it doesn't seem like that'll be the case. Right now, though, I'm just waiting for Snacks to get 4 kills with the Nova and prove you wrong, because you know it's coming.
Never
Just
in all
because
my
you called
days.
him out for him. It is a very good position to be in right now, considering that they might be going down secret, but it could very well also just be a mini pop, and with the Molotov going in, maybe not quite that good. Actually, it's full outside control towards heaven.
I mean,
interesting.
the time to do this? I don't know.
Yeah. There's 20 seconds on the clock, Yumi. I don't think this is doable for them, because if Coolio goes down here, that could be the end of it. Coolio finds the kill. Coolio's still being tagged, and Snacks is coming in. What is that gun? You know what? You win. Yumi, you win. You have beat the system.
Yeah, get rid of that thing, man. That's my experience with the Nova, pretty much summed up. Feels like you should be getting the damage, feels like you should be getting it, the kill. And more than half the pellets just decide that the wall is where they are destined to go instead. That was a bit of a concerning round for Budapest. They grind the clock down so far. Illuminar could be in so many different positions, but they hit the shots they need to on those entries, and ultimately they put it to bed. And well, it's less convincing buy from Illuminar, this time not the fourth. This time the lobby crunch does come through. They're less prepared for it, but they still find all of the kills. Coolio suffering a lot of damage, but Veggie is the sole man surviving for Illuminar in a round like this. That 9-6 is looking very much looking like a very welcome reality for the Budapest 5 lineup, and like you said, maybe even that 10-5 as well. See if Veggie pulls up anything big here, but not seeming likely. Is he timed out? Is he disconnected? Because he...
No, he's moving. He's pressing W. Is he? Oh, he's disconnected.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Say, I've never seen that peak before. The slowest of slow peaks. Holding W, using the wall.
I don't know, man. Maybe you're just trying to bait out a pixel and then back off. It's the ultimate shoulder peek, you know? Because remember, the one other thing to keep in mind is also the shoulder peaks are limited by the fact that your momentum has to reset. Yep. So if you don't have any momentum in the first place, what's up now? What's up now, Counter-Strike physics?
Also, people run sort of like small calculations on jiggle peaks, and sort of when they see a shoulder, they'll react accordingly as a result of that. Yep. If you're moving so slowly, their crosshair might be in the wrong place. I could see it. Yeah. I could see it, but that would be I'll take some massive cojones to go for a peak like that. Either way, it's
Turns out it's not massive cojones. It's really just a disconnected internet connection.
yeah.
But hey, what's the difference?
Yeah, realistically, it didn't seem like a round that he was had much possibility of winning, but it's still unfortunate that that does occur.
Yeah, because the problem is honestly he needed one more kill because you have 1900, you're getting a $2,400 loss bonus. If I'm not wrong, which I might be, to be honest, it's so hard to keep track what with how it now works. But with that loss bonus, you're still looking at a $4,300 economy. So that's an M4, that's Kevlar, that is no head armor obviously, and that's a smoke and a single flash. Another kill can go a long way. You can get yourself a kit. You can get yourself double flashes. You can, have a little bit more to work with, and those small things do matter. So,
yeah, they've gotten the
so he's got 4350 now. Yeah, that's just not enough. Honestly, that's a problem. He has to go for a FAMAS now if they want utility, or an MP9.
We'll see which an ideal weapon he goes for because one of them will have to be picked up. I think the FAMAS is a call-in. I don't see the MP9 reaping too many rewards in a round like this, especially when Budapest are likely to kind of shake things up. They've been going for these slower approaches, waiting for ILLUMINAR to make the first move, and when it comes down to this last round of the half, you can understand a lot of reasoning to catch them off guard. Get aggressive when they're getting aggressive, so that it doesn't all go to plan for that CT side. I mean, really, just what a great performance we're seeing from Coolio. This guy is 20-5 for Budapest.
Insane. I mean, it's the exact same as what Torzi put up in Mirage in the first half. He was also 20-5 towards the end of the half, but now Coolio has done it A without the AWP, and B, he's still got a round to go. So potentially could be seeing something even more deadly from him. I am slightly surprised to not have seen Corey come in as alive as he normally does. He's also changed his role from what I actually remember it being when they were playing with Aaron. I would like to say, I think they were playing with Aaron, but he's changed his role a little bit. He's entering a lot more now. Before he was generally second one, and he's being prioritized a lot more for, being able to pop off. And I'm kind of surprised to see them do that, considering how hard he was sometimes carrying them. Corey was insane. Coolio was also obviously one player I knew had good aim because of his pistols, but never thought he'd be popping off like this. So good to see me being proven wrong, but I always like me some Corey pop-offs too.
Yeah, maybe a bit more depth on display as well, right? Just the just the idea that we talked a lot about how ILLUMINAR have the more tenured, more sort of veteran level players, but you can never count out players at this level. There's always moments where a good day can happen, or maybe your opponents are just not peeking you the way that they think they should be able to, and doing a lot more depth, a lot more versatility in who can perform for Budapest 5. This has to be a win for ILLUMINAR. They need a round like this, but looking like double digits are on the cards. Corey and Kulu get the entries. Caught with a nade out though. Innocence found an equalizing frag, and with Corey being so low HP, that's an easy enough kill for Mouse to find. The bomb dropped on that A bomb site. Budapest to try and recover the pieces.
They do pick up the bomb, and Coolio is still alive. So you always have a chance with this man, but Torzi needs to step up and find Snack's skill. That is the big difference maker. Torzi needs to peek out. They're trying to bait the shot, and they will not do so, but they do at least reveal exactly where they're going to Snack. So ILLUMINAR, the cards have been set up. The question is, can they still come out on top? Because Budapest 5 have not been dealt a good hand, but a good player can make something out of that regardless. Post-plant position looking awkward. Torzi doesn't find that first kill, which is huge. Coolio, he's 21-5. He needs to finish this half 24-5. That would be an insane scoreline and an insane performance needed to match, which is not possible. Innocent takes him down. They do get themselves the 6th round. They do stop the 10th from coming in. It looked like that shouldn't have been the case for a second, but they tried to go for the bomb plant behind the batteries instead of in front of them. And as a result of them, they get caught off by the Heaven players and brought down. 6th round for ILLUMINAR.
Yeah, a flustered together A-site approach after the initial entries. It falls off from there. A great recovery, though, from ILLUMINAR to at least make sure that there's a bit more breathing room, a bit more emphasis on this pistol round, of course. And well, our partners over at LootBet, they seem to be feeling the same way we are. Budapest have been on a roll on that T side. We'll see if it translates to CT as well. But ILLUMINAR, they take this pistol. I think those odds decrease significantly.
That is always a big question mark, though, isn't it? The pistol round on Nuke for the T side. If they can get this on ILLUMINAR, that just gives them such smooth sailing potentially forward, and that is a smooth shot coming out from Innocent. Budapest 5 not starting things off the way they'd like to, but can they follow up? bo3 sure as hell can. Finds one, looking for more. Veggie to finish him off, though, and that is the kit falling too.
No, Coolio chiming in as well on towards Snacks. That kit does need to be recovered if they want a chance for this retake, or else they just deal with the players before they get into the site, and that seems to be the case. Corey, Coolio, they chime in. Fleeve as well. Budapest don't even allow them to get that plant down. They stop them in their tracks before they get themselves onto the site, and Budapest bring that one back.
That is huge. I thought it would be a mirror of what happened in the first pistol, where Veggie was, funnily enough, the person with the kit, and he was taken down by bo3. This time, bo3 was the one with the kit, and he's taken down by Veggie. I'm thinking,
the battle of the kit carriers.
How history repeats itself. And they die.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. Yin and yang and all that good stuff. Don't really know how that applies here, but I'm sure it does one way or another. That's a nice thing about philosophy. You don't have to understand it to know that it's probably there. Yumi just thinks he's costing me an idiot.
No.
He would be right.
I like yin and yang, the push and pull, give and take. Well, bo3's going to give a little and get a lot out of it. Not actually on the receiving end of any damage, just firing off kills, firing off bullets. The receiver of those kills. bo3, in fact, playing with them at the door. You open, I close. Yin and yang, push and pull. Budapest are still looking good in this round. No real surprises with these pistols.
Well, the surprise for me is that they haven't gotten a single kill. Budapest 5 are not just winning this, they're running away with it.
Yeah, nothing really out of the ordinary for them. I mean, they win the pistol, they win the subsequent round as well. ILLUMINAR haven't been able to get plants in either of those rounds either, so yeah, things looking pretty dire. No silver lining in those past rounds.
Well, hopefully Budapest 5 don't just let themselves get swept away by a P250 buy as Fleeve and Dorsey come in, looking very strong, coming out on top pretty easily. They lose one player, no big deal. They can recover that M4, lose the MP9. It's probably a small boon for them as well, to be honest. You don't want to take those MP9s forward when you're up 12-6. At this point, it really is in bonus rounds. It's all about, hey, just get the round that's in front of you. Make it work one way or another.
We'll see if we get any surface level indicators as to how well prepared ILLUMINAR are for this map, whether outside smokes become a default oriented approach for them on this T side, whether they get some early presence towards either the vents or pressure in towards ramp. It doesn't seem like they'll expend much of their utility to start things off, and in fact they'll punish Coolio for getting aggressive outside. That lack of presence, that lack of utility, it baits Coolio in. He thinks it's all clear.
Veggie is expecting a push to come in from Corey, but Corey's comfortable, man. He doesn't care. Sure, we're a man down. I don't mind. You need to come to me. And as I say that, he changes his mind and backs off instead. So, 1:15 on the clock, and ILLUMINAR look to explode onto this bomb site. There is enough money on the CTs to be able to buy in the next round, so this isn't the most dire of circumstances, but you don't want to be pushed to that point. Corey needs to step up, and that's exactly what he's trying. Finds one, but not the M4, so he can't finish off. And the AUG, while dropping down, wasn't able to drop down fast enough. As a result of that, cannot reposition. If these two CTs save their guns into the next round, you've got a perfect buy. If not, maybe a little bit sketchy, but You want to see these CTs take it forward regardless. I think if Corey had an M4 there, they would have won that, to be honest. An M4A4, not an A1.
Yeah, certainly possible. I know you always harp on about the fire rate of the FAMAS and how it doesn't quite live up to the standard.
It's just bad for spray downs.
Yeah.
It's decent. So the place where a FAMAS is good is not close range. It's not supposed to be close range. A FAMAS is supposed to be good in long range angles versus anti-ecos and anti-pistols and anti-SMGs. That's kind of how it's supposed to work. That's the role that I visualize in the game. Playing close range outside of HUT, though, an AUG is great for that because of the accuracy. But the M4A4, man, that is, oof, that's a perfect, beautiful, bellissimo angle. It's like Monster on Overpass.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a FAMAS in that position either. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I will concede the point. I have a bit more love for the FAMAS. I think it has a bit more viability than that, but the evidence would suggest otherwise. ILLUMINAR, though, that was a pretty crucial round for them to win, that first gun round that they've been able to register, and well, the execute towards the bomb site is where they'll go. Smoke towards Mini. Corey, though, he demolishes them as they progress out of door. Innocent able to time one back, suffering in a Molotov, and Badito around the smoke finds two. One with the Molotov, one by his gun. Innocent's all that's left, but he's found one through the hut wall.
Innocent needs to pull off the ace clutch. There's an op on the other side in the hands of Torzi. Coolio as well, the big man of Budapest 5 in this map. And Torzi from the previous map. This is Innocent's biggest challenge. And the question is, how does he decide to deal with it? He's going over towards that B bomb site potentially, but it could very well still be a flank onto Coolio. And if he's able to get that first kill, that's huge, because that might be 30 seconds. He's even faked the jump down into ramp. He's baited them out. This is perfect from Innocent. They're not going to be able to hear him drop down either, but they're checking, and it's Torzi who's just sitting back, making sure just in case, and Torzi gets the job done. Innocent was so smart. He tried so hard, but he couldn't get it out. I have to quickly point something out, though. Snacks missed his smoke down towards Mini. They had to re-smoke that, and that's why Corey was able to catch the player out of position who was supposed to be checking his angle first. That's so unfortunate right there.
I actually wasn't even sure if he'd missed it. I think
he missed it.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just taking a little too long to land. The player getting impatient, but that's
it landed in front of fake vents.
That is extremely unfortunate. An execute that could have gone right goes so wrong. Snacks looking to make up for lost time, make up for mistakes. Corey instead will take the first kill. Innocent and Reeds respond with 2 kills of their own, but Fleeve is still on that site, but he gets nothing done. Mouse incinerates and deletes him off of the site, and well, Budapest 5, they have to simply save these rifles over.
Funny little angle for Corey to just be jumping up and down, trying to hope that they don't catch his feet out. You've got full utility on these players and kits as well. You really want to see them saving, moving forward. They probably will. Badito's just trying to see if he can find any kills in the back lines. Remember, ILLUMINAR, they may be on the T side, but their money is not great, as is evidenced by the round score as well. Budapest 5 got overwhelmed in that round by a fast play from ILLUMINAR. Nice little change of pace, but a lot of it comes off the back of Mouse's instant headshot, which made sure that Fleeve couldn't get anything. Otherwise, Fleeve was entirely ready to isolate 2 1v1 duels. Unfortunately, sometimes when you do that, you just lose them. That's the beauty and the chaos of Counter-Strike.
So is this the same as Mirage? Is this a little too late for ILLUMINAR? That change of pace, it worked wonders, but the execute, if they don't fix up the holes, things could certainly get a little bit dicey. We haven't seen them put too much emphasis on outside either, but we'll get to see a bit more of it in this round. Smokes outside, some Molotovs as well to try and deter any aggressive peaks from the CT side, but Torzi is still looking for picks with the AWP.
He's so aggressive. That flashbang miss, that is huge. Because of that, Innocent has gone down, and they can't get outside control at all. Bandito's position is not forced off either. He gets a beautiful one-tap afterwards, and a follow-up to the bomb to drop it there, and then Bandito's ready. He gets another one. That is beautiful. Wow, those taps.
Cool, calm, collected, a mistiming there from Mouse, and that will be his undoing. What a round from Bandito, man. Missed that first one tap, keeps it all composed. This is just...
Oh, no, I missed.
It's just
Don't
beautiful
worry.
to watch. It's his last one, man.
And
You just don't think he's going to keep on carrying it on, but...
yeah. He's not even spraying. That's the magic of it.
Yeah, he gave himself a small challenge in that round, and he follows through.
Well, it might not be ideal in a style of play, but it sure as hell looks good. And Bandito is looking even better now. Push all the way across outside, takes down Snacks. Nades are flying in. Utilities going around. Corey needs to step up, but Corey stepped down. However, he's got plenty of teammates to back him up. It's still a 3v2, and Veggie and Innocent do have firepower in the hands of a Tech-9 and AK, but the problem is, again, Bandito. The smoke dissipates, Bandito sees the player is peeking out, and he is unstoppable. He is a madman, he cannot be seen, and Veggie cannot touch anyone with that Tech-9. Unfortunately, missing a few shots onto a player who wasn't quite looking at him.
This all turns around. We were praising Coolio for having such a great performance on that T side, but on CT, Bandito is doing so much for Budapest, and now they just need one more round. It has to be 7 in a row for ILLUMINAR, and with this bye, I am not convinced. SMGs, pistols, that's all they have to work with outside of the utility. Well, Budapest may just have done it. We thought this might have been a one-sided affair when we looked at the stats. ILLUMINAR, there were a few more caveats. See if they can get it done with a scrappier bye.
Of course, he knows they're coming towards him, and he's got the immediate shot. Snacks was trying to pre-fire that, but it simply doesn't work out. And Torzi, these short-range angles shouldn't be favoring him, but somehow he's still getting them all. He's not even going to smoke it off. It comes in, but it's late. And now, off the back of that, he's repositioning, hoping that they'll push through, but they will not do so just quite yet. They're trying to find information. Reeds will maybe go for a spray through the smoke. He knows there's a possibility of Torzi still being around here. But Torzi, oh my god, he's found another one. Can he flick for the third? No, it's a fourth even. Doesn't seem like he can. Innocent with the AWP picked up. Looking, trying, fighting, striding, but can't find the kill. It's Veggie to take it away, but not quite to the finish line. 16-8, Budapest 5. What a way to win that best of 3.